Start this. Start that. Webcam open or on. Bleep bloop. There we go. Perfect. Howdy, howdy. Hope everybody's doing well. Yeah, happy Thursday. Not Monday, which I initially thought it might have been. It is Thursday, in fact. And I feel dumb because in Discord, hold on, I gotta disable that. Roy Inspire linked a game. Apparently, you saw a clip of Jake Don't Drop play it. It's called like a dialed.gg. It's like a color, it's just called color game. And then it shows a color on screen, then you have to color pick it. And I thought it'd be fun. I heard happy birthday. Nope, no birthdays here. I mean, maybe. Is it your birthday? Happy birthday, Recriner. Everybody, it's Recriner's birthday. Happy birthday. But anyway, I want to do the color game a little later. Maybe when there's people, maybe I'll turn it into a redeem if it's fun. I don't exactly know how the multiplayer does it. I could show you guys on stream before, as like a solo player. And then we can go from there. I tried it once before stream, and I was pretty bad at it, if I do say so myself. But we'll see. Maybe I'll get better with practice. You know, I work a lot in color, but I don't paint a lot from do color studies, so I don't pick a color a lot. And so I think I'm going to be pretty bad at it compared to some people, especially if people who do a lot of studies. Thanks for the 100 bits. Happy birthday, Recriner. Basilisk, hello. How's it going? So yeah, it'll be fun to see how I don't know exactly how the multiplayer works. It might be a thing where maybe there's a limited number of people. I don't know. I'm hoping that it'll just do create a leaderboard, literally just like a spreadsheet of everybody who enters, who wants to participate, and they can put their initials or whatever. And it'll just have a leaderboard of all the scores for the color pick game. I think it would be a lot of fun. But I don't know if that's how it works. It might only be limited to 8. It might have a lobby. I've never clicked it. But I do know that the solo player one is super straightforward. It's literally just pops you in, you play the game. It takes about, I don't know, a minute or less, and then it gives you your score. It's pretty, I don't know. I like it. It seemed pretty cool. It's your birthday now. Yep, it's your birthday now. Also, it's my birthday because I just got gifted 100 bits. So thank you, Recriner, for the birthday gift. Very much appreciate it. I'll just tell people it's my birthday. They'll shower me in presents. No, I don't think that's how it works. I don't think I've ever been showered in gifts. I have been given gifts before, though. So that's very nice. Thank you, Recriner. I appreciate it. Okay, what am I doing? I'm missing a window. Oh, there we go. Every day is birthday. It is someone's birthday every day. That is correct. Basilisk, how are you doing? I hope you're doing all right. Hope you're on the up and up, as they say. Somebody says. I don't know who says that. I always say that, as they say. Who's they? Who are they? Who's these people talking? Yeah, I'm getting better. That's good. Glad to hear it. You say it now. I'm they. I am they. You are they. Ooh, the mysterious they. I like it. I feel like that's it's pretty cool. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the color game later. I am curious. Do you guys want to be my guinea pigs? We could try it early and just see. I don't know how the link works. I kind of want to wait for more people to show up though, because I think it'll be more fun. But I have a hunch it'll be a redeem option. Skedek Akia says, heard it's your birthday. Happy birthday. Thank you. It's not my birthday, but I appreciate it. Nor is it Recriner's birthday, but also, yeah. No, there's a streamer. He streams a Mario Maker, and I always have been fascinated by the way he runs his stream. There has somehow become a meme, not a meme, but the culture of this guy's stream. His name's Orator. There's become a culture in his stream where people will wish him happy birthday every day, trying to guess his birthday. And every day he's just It's not my birthday. Uh, it's pretty funny. It's just like his entire stream, the entire culture of it has turned into like just chatbot spam, which is kind of obnoxious. But he just plays his game and has the most deadpan face, and people try to like make him laugh. It's kind of silly, but it's also at the same time, it's humorous because it's like everybody is in on it, and everybody's like, I don't know, somehow it's built up this like entire thing. It's very strange, but it always just kind of blows my mind of like the dynamics of that stream. But anyway, I don't know why I'm going on a rant, but yeah, the whole happy birthday thing reminds me of that. Reed Crying says, my birthday is easy, 7/7. Nice. Mine is 12:30 p.m. No, it's not. It's 12:30. Yeah, mine's December 30th. I'm not afraid to say my birthday. Although, you know, if people want to, you know, 12:30 is coming up in an hour and a half, so if we're going time, I'm 12:20. Yeah, that's what the 30. So the 30 in my name, JStiller30, comes from the day of the month. Happy late birthday. I'm only 2 months late. Why is my music so loud for me? Is it loud for you guys? I don't think it's loud for you guys. Okay, but yeah, I'm painting with some colors. We're doing some color stuff. I'm happy to take suggestions, I guess, or not. I don't know. Just putting some shimmers in here. It's kind of like an explosion. Let's do a path going into the explosion. Music is fine, that's good. Music isn't loud, okay. Well, it's just me then. Okay, there is a path going into the explosion. Through the explosion. Did you answer my question about the sheep painting? Oh, no, I didn't answer. Is the newest sheep painting one I can purchase? I don't know which... Oh, wait, you left a comment, didn't you, was on Instagram? Hold on, I saw a comment, vaguely, but I was, like, going to bed, and I didn't respond, and then I forgot until now. Where was the comment left? Let me... Okay, it was. Oh, yes, that one. I do... Yes, you can have what did you ask? Is it for purchase? I mean, it's for print redeems. I have a print redeem of it, I think. Hold on, is it here? I don't know. I think I have a couple print redeems. No, I don't know where they are. And technically, I think it's also on... Is it on InPrint? It might be. Let me see. I don't know if you like InPrint or have used it before. I think it is on InPrint. No, it's not. Just kidding. That's a lie. I haven't uploaded it. You've collected all the Stiller sheep. Nice. It's the Pokemon cards. The Stiller Pokemon card, the sheep set. If you get them all and they combine into one mega sheep. Or you score points or something. I don't know. I don't know how... I haven't worked out the details with the JStiller card game. But you win something, I'm sure. It certainly makes you strong. You get the power of the sheep, and they grant all of your something's extra woolliness, or I don't know. Maybe they summon a sheep god? No, I don't know. What would collecting all the sheep do? Something. If you paint a mega sheep. I feel like it would be some like sheep revolt or something. You'd get all the sheep, and then you could like summon. There'd be like a sheep leader, and they would rally together. It'd be like rally. The card could be called Rally the Sheep. I don't know. I'm just being dumb. Mochi Ghost says, "Hi everyone, this is Vexjester. I changed my name." Oh, hello Vexjester. I am gonna have a hard time remembering that you're Vexjester. I'll be honest. I will try. I will try my darndest, but name changes just throw me for a loop. But anyway, do you want me... I'll call you Mochi, though, right? Because that's what your name is, and that way other people know who I'm talking to. I can call you Mochi, though. Vexjester. I always had a hard time saying Vexjester. It was kind of a tongue twister. I always wanted to say gesture with an sh sound. An esh. But that was more of a me problem. LMAO, you're all good, no stress. All right. Well, I'm gonna be calling you Mochi every time you enter, but yeah, well, yeah, welcome in. I hope you're doing well. I'm always, is it rude to ask why you changed your name? I'm always curious, like the reasoning, because like we've had the talks and discussions about name changes on social media and like video games and different things of like when people want to change their gamer tag. Like I'm actually on like a game like League of Legends, I want to change my gamer tag because it's not related to anything else that I do, and it's was like a character from a TV show, and it's just a name, and it's like, I don't know, I don't really like that. I feel like I don't want to, not outgrown in like a snooty way. It's just like, it just doesn't feel like it fits me to have a name based on a TV show character. And so I want to change my name in a video game, but I haven't done it yet. But sometimes people change it for other reasons, like they're hiding, or they're just trying to, like, maybe there's like baggage, or you feel like the name doesn't fit you, or people, I don't know, like there could be all sorts of reasons, right? Not rude at all, particularly because I like it better, and probably so I have consistency between Twitch and Discord, so people know it's me. Oh, are you Mochi Ghost on other places? That's a totally good reason. Not that you need a good reason. You can change it for whatever reason you want. Reed Kreiner said, I used to be called Insane Little Monkey. I kind of miss it sometimes. Yeah, names are funny like that, right? I know this should not be such a controversial... It's not, probably, for most people. But for me, I get somehow, like... whatever name people use... I like... Because the name could be anything, right? The name could be I mean, almost a squiggle, right? But a name could be anything. And so you just have some name, right? That's not how you spell name. But then everything I learn about you, right? Every conversation we have, everything, every stream you're a part of, every random thing, right, that I know about you, is like tying back to this identity. And this name becomes like, I don't think of it as a name. I don't even care what it says. It could just say like, poopy poop or something very stupid where, like, most people would cringe at it. But after a while, the people who know you just stop thinking of it as that name, right? You start thinking of it as this collection of, like, this is the way that it's the thing that ties everything that I know about you together, right? When I think of Eye of Basilisk, I don't think of a literal basilisk ever, right? Like, I just think of that's the name of the person who I associate with all of the things I know about that person, right? So it's always tricky for me when name changes are, because it's like it's not about the name, and so, like, but on the other hand, from the person whose name it is, they might still like, there is still that first impression, and other people, if your name is really silly, people will, like, maybe do an eye roll at first. But I think once people know you, it doesn't matter. And if they don't know you, then it also kind of doesn't matter, because, I mean, maybe it does for, like, social media's sake, though. So I don't know, it's a really tricky thing. On one hand, I don't like name changes, but also I get it, and you should be happy with your name. But I think if it also actually, this is a similar conversation to what we were talking about with I mean, vaguely, it's tangential. We were talking about in Casey Snow art stream yesterday about like different pressures that artists put on themselves, and it's tangential in my opinion, because it kind of depends on, like, what you're doing and why, and like why, if it's just playing a game, who cares what your name is? If it's a big community and people know you, there are some other factors. If it's a professional thing, maybe the stakes are higher, right? Because now if nobody knows who you are, you might have to start over, right? So there are some very real, like, things to consider depending on who you are, what you do, you know, the context around it. And it's not, I don't think it's easy enough to say just like, oh, name changes are good or bad or like smart or not, or, you know, insignificant or totally significant. I think in general, you should always do what you want though. And, you know, I don't really have a problem with name changes in the sense of like, I mean, again, I'm going to change my name on a video game just to make it more aligned with all the other places that I'm on. And also, I don't really talk to people on the game, so it's not, I don't feel like I'm losing anything. No one's going to be like, who's this guy? And if they do, I don't really care. So, yeah, names, I don't know, names are interesting. They definitely, for me, they spawn sort of an interesting discussion around, I don't know if you'd call it a philosophical discussion, but it's definitely like it's just an interesting discussion, I think. Okay, you said, I'm solidly iBasilisk since many people call me Basil and Basilisk in normal conversation. Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing, right? Like, after a while, that's what people call you, right? It just, it stops being, I mean, it is still a nickname, but it's like, to them, it's not, right? That's just your name, right? If people are calling you Basil, is that, I mean, yes, to you, it's obviously a nickname because that's not your IRL name, but to them, it might be the only name they have ever known you by. And so, at some point, it's like, it's weird, right? It's a weird thing. Like, I'm in the firm belief that on some level, names just don't matter. But I think once you start getting into like publicity and sort of first impression and branding, I think it can a little bit. But like once you become familiar with the person, then most of that doesn't matter, right? There's a couple artists. There's that YouTuber. Some of you, I think he goes by like Moist Critical, but he also has a bunch of other names like Penguin Zero or something. And like I don't know what all of his stupid names are. Some people just call him by his first name, and like he's super popular, and I think he's kind of funny, but also kind of dumb sometimes. But anyway, it's like regardless of how I feel about him, I think he's a good example of someone whose name genuinely doesn't matter. He has a stupid sounding name. He has different names across platforms, and yet he's still made a name for himself, right? And people know him by whatever they know him by. And it works. Like, obviously, he's probably an outlier because he's uber popular. But on some level, I don't think it matters. In fact, I think a silly name could be beneficial. Anyway, I don't know why I springboarded off this. But anyway, name changes are they're cool. I think it's fun. The first time I heard someone refer to Moist Critical as Charlie. Yeah. I mean, most people wouldn't, right? And some people, if you said Penguin Z0, they wouldn't know who you're talking about either. Because why would you know that? But that's his YouTube name. Anyway, I guess I'm just using it as a point where on some level, I don't think... There was a podcast from, oh gosh, what was it called? It might have been on Freakonomics or like one of those NPR, like Freakonomics Radio or whatever one of their spin-off podcasts are. And it was about like the science of names and like, do names matter? And obviously for some contexts they do, especially like with biases around like in job interviews. And, you know, if you see a name and your name sounds Hispanic, people will probably assume that you're Hispanic, and it's not even so if they have a bias against you or some prejudice, then obviously it can manifest. Oh hey, there's a bot I get a ban. Fun. Yay me. Do not click links. Do not click links. Ban user. Boom. Banned. Fun. I got to ban that I haven't got to ban someone in a while. But I think the general conclusion was that like names typically, if it's like a silly sounding name, like if your name is like Rudolph, or not, Rudolph's not a funny sounding name. I think I had an uncle called Rudolph. But if you have a name called like Rudolph versus Bob or, you know, Cornelius, like it doesn't really affect like most, like there was no findings to from, at least if I recall correctly in this podcast, like based on their research, they could find no evidence that the name of a person, like names didn't migrate to the top of, like, you know, if your name is this, you're more likely to succeed in financial success, or like if your name is this, then you're least likely to succeed. Like there wasn't really a difference. There, and it seemed like any difference was more related to like other types of prejudices that didn't have to do with your name, at least according to their findings. And even if their name was like, you know, like a silly sounding name, like a name that is a non-typical name, like Apple or something. Obviously Apple is the name of somebody's child who's famous, and I don't remember who. It's kind of silly name, but like if you had a really bizarre name, like even that doesn't really affect you, because like again, once people meet you, they don't really think about your name. At least that was kind of the general conclusion, which I thought is cool. Anyway, it's been a while since I've listened to that, so I don't know all the conclusions that they drew, but I always think it's just an interesting segue or thing. Basilisk says, "Rude, I clearly have all the energy of a giant reptile and you can turn you to stone." Yes, exactly. Also, very few people have used I Have Basilisk on other websites. That's another good point, right? Where you kind of want your name to be something unique enough that you could actually get it, because online, most people can only have one name for a given platform. And so if you're competing with everybody for John Smith or Jane Doe or Jane Smith or whatever, whatever your name IRL is, then yeah, it's obviously you're never going to get your name, and that's going to be disappointing. So I think it does make sense to have a unusual name in that regard. I don't know, names are fascinating. Eye of John Doe, yeah. Yeah, exactly. John Doe's eye. I don't know why that's so silly to me. You mentally call yourself. The first time I heard someone refer to my... Oh, I already read that. Yeah. Also, okay, I'm gonna take a break. No. In 5 minutes. In 5 minutes after this thumbnail, I'm gonna do the color thing. I want to test it. I want to do it on stream, and then I want to see if we can do it as a, like, if people can join. I don't know how that whole process works. It might be silly. I'm an ominous eye, says Basilisk, but the most boring non-ominous person ever. The most boring non-ominous person ever. That's quite the description. You know, I feel like I'm not very ominous either, am I? And I feel like I'm pretty boring. I'm also a boring non-ominous person, right? I mean, I'm not boring to myself, but I suspect other people think I'm boring, because I like what I like, and I don't do... Oh! What was that? Was that the sit-up straight? 5-minute sketch. No, that was the 5-minute sketch. Okay, let's do a 5-minute thumbnail. Thanks, Pepperly. Also, hi, Pepperly. Haha, I'm not saying I'm boring. I'm just saying the person with the eye. Gotcha. Gotcha. See, I always think, like, when people ask questions like, you know, like, how is your day? And it's like, or oh, what do you do today? And you're like, oh, nothing much. You know? I'm trying to stop saying those things, because to me it might have been a lot. But I'm only saying that so that I don't have to, like, see their reaction to, like, tell them about my day and see if they care, because I don't think they do. You know what I mean? Like, do I think that if someone says, how was your day? Do I really want to get into, like, explaining that I stream on Twitch and all this? It's like, nah, what do you do today? Oh, nothing much. You know? Like, I just don't want to get into it. But it's not nothing much. It is like, to me, it might be a big thing. It might be much. But to them, I feel like they probably don't care. And also, I don't know if I care for them to care. And so it's more just like, I'll just save everyone the annoyance of having to, like, engage in conversation. and I'll just tell them I didn't do anything. I don't see a timer. Oh, I haven't started yet. Oh, sorry. I haven't started yet. The day has... How is your day? Oh, the day has been had. Yeah, but it's nothing you need to concern yourself with. I like that. It's also an invitation for them to ask. Yeah, and I don't want that. Typically it's like people who I don't really want to. It's always in situations when I'm doing other things, like I'm, shopping, or I'm doing some other thing. I'm going from point A to point B, and I don't really just want to like stop and have a conversation. Uh, or like I'm call like, or maybe you'll be engaging with someone on some sort of, on other business. Maybe you call someone for something, or they call you for something, or just to double check or confirm something, and then all of a sudden they get into like this how are you kind of thing, like how was your day? It's like, yeah, it's good. Like, I'm pretty so-so. Like, I don't really want to talk. I'm not here for that. I'm here for a dentist appointment. Thank you very much. Like, please just do the thing. Don't ask me questions, or and I realize a lot of times it's just small talk, but it's just, I don't know how to navigate those situations. I'm too awkward. I'm too awkward for that. I just want to like do the thing I'm doing. I don't mind it on stream though, because like that's kind of what I'm here for. But in general, anyway, yeah, I will do the 5-minute thumbnail in just a moment. Stoic says, also, hi, did I say hi, Stoic? Hi, Stoic. Stoic says, I understand understating your day, but also I do that myself. Yeah, I mean, I think I do it because, one, I think for me, it's like, are they asking for my opinion, or are they asking for, like, for example, imagine every single day you went skydiving. Like, if that was your life, you're a skydiving instructor. Someone might say, hey, how was your day at work? And you're like, it's pretty normal, right? That, to most people, your normal day is fascinating. Holy crap, you skydive for a living? That's awesome. How did you get into it? Like, what's the craziest thing that's happened? Like there's so many things you might ask. But for that person, it's just like, whatever. It's a normal day, Like that's their day. It reminded me when there was like a rumor going around, I think, about the guy from Malcolm in the Middle. When he, in an interview question, he was asked a question about some episodes from Malcolm in the Middle of acting as a childhood, and he's like, I can't remember them. Like, I just don't remember them. And people took it as like he must have some serious trauma, and it was like, super intense. Like, dude, if you were to ask me, like, again, if you were acting every day, can you recall a random day from your job? Like, I can't, right? Like, if you're doing just day in and day out hustle and bustle of you're being, dragged around as a kid to acting every day, do you think you can remember a random conversation you had with like friends, or just like, probably not. It's just a random day you're gonna forget. Like, it's not surprising that you would forget stuff like that. And to everyone, it's like, oh, that's like a big moment on TV. For them, they remember it. But for you, it's not. And it's not that surprising to me when you hear actors recall, like, I don't really remember working on that movie that much. Like, I vaguely know, like, I know that I did it, but I don't really remember the day in and day outs. Certainly don't remember their lines. And don't remember the general story beats of the thing they worked on. It's like, and it makes it feel like, wow, you are so, like, you must be out of it. And I just don't think that's the case. So yeah, I guess my point is, when people ask me how my day is, to me, it's like, just another day. But to them, it might be cool, and they might like to hear it. And so it is kind of weird. I never really know how to answer. Do I answer for them, or do I answer for me? Do I appease them, or are they just asking me my opinion about my day? Like, I don't really know what the intent of those questions. Like, if I ask someone how their day is, I'm not even sure what I'm asking. Like, if I ask someone how their day is, do I want to be entertained, or am I asking them how they feel about it? I don't even know. Like, maybe both, but they're two totally different questions, right? One is like, do you have anything that I think would be interesting, right, that you would like to tell me? And the other is, how do you feel about your day? Which is a totally different question. Anyway, random philosophical rant. Okay, let's put up the timer. 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 Okay, there we go. There's the timer. Let's start. Let's get this show on the road, shall we? I'm telling you, it's a Monday, am I right? Goes a long way with small talkers. Does it? It's a Monday, am I right? Sir? This is Saturday? It's Saturday? Oh. It's a Monday, am I right? That feels like, I would pull that one. That feels like, from the IT crowd. That feels like a skit from there, where it's like you learn a phrase and then you just say the phrase because that's the thing you learn, with complete disregard to the context of the phrase. Let's do a smudge brush. Smudging those brushes. Rant! Flying Fox, hello! Hello. Howdy. Hope you're doing well. Hope the day is treating you well. How is your day? As we go on this ramble. But after this, I want to do the color game and see how I do. And also, if you guys want to join, you can see how you do. Basically, it puts a color on the screen. And then you have to try and color pick it after a few moments of not seeing it. And then you have to see how well you can remember the color. I tried it before stream once, and I was very bad at it. At least according to their in-game statistics. Yeah, I want to try it. I think it would be fun. There's a link. You can do like a linked version where other people can see, and I think it creates a leaderboard of some sort. I don't quite know how that version works, but that would be fun too. Also, that's also a fan favorite as far as I can tell. Or it sure is the Monday of Fridays. The Monday of Fridays. I tried playing that game. It's not giving an output of the color in real time while adjusting the sliders. It should. I don't know. I'll play it once on screen and you guys can see what it's doing. Because I did play it once and it seemed to be working just fine for me. But maybe it is going wonky for you. But then at least then you'll see what I think it's supposed to look like. Because you'll see me doing it. Let's get some lighting in here. But yeah, also, hi Drovzilla, hope you're doing well. Classic castle on a cliff, although this cliff looks extremely tiny. There, now it's bigger. Don't really know what's going on with the land here. How much time do I have? I actually don't know. Oh, 1:24 left. I'm not a fan of this, whatever's happening. But yeah, the color game, I'll link it in a moment, once I'm out of this 5-minute thumbnail sketch. Also, this should be bigger. Basically, people who like small talk love talking about their day, but rarely have people to listen. And Mondays are the days everyone decides to hate regardless of schedule. So if you just find a way to wiggle Friday and you don't have to talk because they will. See, people always say that, but I'm the opposite, I think. I don't like talking about myself in that way. Like, I'm not a sharer. I don't want to share about how my day's going. In fact, I'm kind of the opposite. Maybe if you tell me outright that you are, like, if I could mind read, I think if I could mind read, I would then probably like talking about myself because I would know what you're interested in before I tell you. But I don't want to have to guess at what I think you are interested in, and I don't want to go on a ramble in real life, that is, about a topic aren't you don't care about, right? If someone asked me how my day was and I launch into, you know, me playing team fight tactics with my brother, do you care about that? Probably not, right? Like so I don't want to talk about that because I don't think you're interested, right? I want to talk about things that I think you actually do care about. Um and so I would rather just not talk about anything and just say, yeah, my day was okay, rather than launch into something, right? And so everyone always says that, oh, people love talking about their day, but it's like I don't. Or maybe I do, but I I only want to do it if I already know that you actually like the thing that I'm gonna say. Like I don't want to, just I don't like that sense of failure, I think, in conversation where like the thing I'm talking about is uninteresting, right? I'd rather just not bring it up in the first place. Which is why I think something like art is so cool and art streams is because the people here, like, we're all artists and we're all here for the same reason, and so you can talk about art stuff and it's relevant to some degree. And if you don't like it, well, that's a you problem, I guess. Because you're in an art stream. And so that it sort of has bridged that gap for me mentally. Anyway, there's my 5-minute thumbnail. Time's up. If you don't want to talk, you get them to talk about yourself. Yeah, I mean, I think signaling that you are interested in what they're doing, but again, a lot of times you just don't know what people do, right? And I guess for me, there's just that weird friction of not wanting to tell someone about my day when they don't care. And I don't know where that comes from. I mean, I know once I talked to some people in real life, and I don't think this is like the reason, but I have had situations that are really awkward where like someone will ask me what I do or what I enjoy doing when I'm not at work or something, right? A coworker. And it sounds like they're genuinely interested and then and then I'm like, "Oh, I paint." Right? I like to paint stuff like and then I will elaborate and I'm like, "Oh, I like to paint like environments, like fantasy landscapes and stuff." And then they're like, "Oh, okay." And it's like they have no interest. I'm like, okay, well, like, why ask? Why do you ask what you do if you just don't even like? I don't know. It just felt very weird. I don't fault them. Like, why would they care about me painting? Like they're a random person. And so, what's the point? I don't know. It just feels weird. I don't really get it, and so I don't typically even share that. I mean, I do now because like I can think of it as like a job kind of. So it's like, oh, what do you do? But if it's like, what are your interests? I almost don't even do that. Sometimes I do. I don't know. Anyway, who wants to misread someone's interest in their life or their hobbies? It's hard not to know when someone is genuinely interested in you or just passing the time. True. Same for me, but same problem. Yeah. No, Stoic, you're totally right. Also, hi Pavic. Okay, let me show you guys the color game. I wanna see how this works in multiplayer, and I think I can just do a link. So I'm gonna first of all have to find the link because it's in my thingy here. Also, this might be really loud. I apologize beforehand. If this is super duper loud, then I'm sorry. So the way it works on a single player, I'm going to start at single player first just to show you guys.
Single player.
Oh gosh, that is kind of loud. Okay, so what it does, it shows a color here, right, which is like a limeish greenish beige color. And then I have to pick the limeish greenish beige color, right? So like this, more desaturated. And so like maybe I think it's that color, right? I don't know. I think it's not quite. I think it's more... Is that limeish greenish beige? Maybe that. Okay, I wasn't super accurate, right? And so then it guesses the color. I got a 9.1. I don't know if that's good. And then you do it for 5 colors and it gives you a score. So it says super saturated, pinkish, reddish. I'm really bad with pinks. Fuchsia color. Pinkish, reddish, super saturated, more red, Quite bright. It's like that. Maybe. Oh gosh, I'm so bad at these colors. I think that's right. No, it is more red than that. Oh, hold on. Nah, that's not red enough. There, let's go with that. Okay, pretty close-ish. Nope, that was farther away. I'm really bad at... Reds are hard, man. Okay, anyway. So I'm gonna do this one. Here, let me read chat. Yeah, pinks are really hard because it's like pink-red. I'm very bad at pinks. And then this one, desaturated, like purple-blue? Kinda? Medium darkness? I don't know. Desaturated, purple-blue. More blue. More light. More desaturated. Lock it in. Okay, not very good. 9.6. Apparently that was okay. And I think we have two more, and then it'll give me my score. Green. Medium saturation, kind of light. Green, blue. Medium saturate. Green, blue. Medium saturation, kind of light. That? Just lock it in. Oh, that was terrible. Oh no, that was bad. Oh dear. Okay, that was a bad one. I'm gonna get a bad score. Red. Oh gosh, this is a weird one. Pretty saturated red. Quite dark. I don't know if it's up here or down there. I think it's up here, right? I'm gonna get a really bad score in this. Is it really this saturated? It can't be, right? Oh god, this is so bad. I know this isn't right. Oh god, that was bad. Okay. So here I am. I'm not even better than half the... Oh, I'm better than 70% of players. Okay. Well, that was pretty bad. Anyway, so there is a way... See, I think I'm actually better at blue and green. There is a wider range. I think I'm better at blue and green because I do differentiate between green, yellow, blue, green, and like different types of blue. And for reds are hard because my pink, red, pink, blue, purple colors are, I don't know how to orient that between like the blue side and the red side. With green, I actually have a pretty good like line I draw. Anyway, I didn't get a great score. But anyway, so there is a way to do this with friends. And I don't know how this works. So enter my name, Joe. I'll just do that. And I can copy the game link. And I can post it in here. Let me see if this works for you guys. I'm curious what this does. Do I wait until people are in? Do I know when people join? See, I don't think I'm good at this color. This game is so hard. It is pretty hard. So let's see. Let me know if this works. Let me know if you guys are in, and I have no idea how this works. I don't know if it's going to show me when people are in. If you've clicked in, let me know, and then I can just start. I don't think we're going to have a bunch of people here, but I just want to see how it works for multiplayer. This is purely a test. I could probably paint in the meantime. Yeah, I don't think I'm... It's funny, because I work in color a lot, but I don't really think about that. You're in? Okay, let's try. Let's see if... I'm already one... Okay, start playing. Bluish teal. Dark bluish teal. Oranges. Oh gosh, that's a tough one. It's like not brown. It's not orange. I mean, it is orange. One more tick. But it's not brown, so it is orange. But it's also... That? Is that decidedly orange? Ooh, that was pretty damn close. That one might be my closest one ever. Okay, that I got lucky there. That was pure luck. A green? I mean, that's a green, right? That's no, that's a neutral, a very neutral green. Was it leaning towards warm or cool? I don't know. Oh God, I think all this talk about green, and I got it. Actually, that wasn't bad. Gray, blue-gray? Blue, kind of blue-gray, medium-ish. A little darker. It's too green. Not green enough. Okay. Last one. Yellow lime. Yellow green, quite saturated. Quite saturated. It's less saturated. Oh, oh gosh, I was not yellow enough. I thought that was okay. Oof. So this is gonna say, okay, so I did not, Pepperly did way better than me. I know we all did pretty close. Pepperly crushed it. Fiction did pretty good. I'm third so far. And then Stoic, Tamarind, okay. That one was tough. Man, that orange one, though, look at that guess. I started off strong, and then I went downhill. Oh, dang. 9.7, that's the closest. Wait, what's the closest? 9.9? Wait, Fiction just straight up got perfect on this one. That's insane. Anyway, I've never played this before. Last place, let's go. Nah, it's all good. Dang, Pepperly crushed that teal. Holy moly. Look at that. Okay, we've got a... Yeah, see, this is what I mean. I don't do a lot of studies, and I think that's why I don't do a lot of color picking stuff. I think there's a lot of variance. I think if I did this a couple times, occasionally I would get down like here, and then occasionally I would get up here. I think I would get lucky sometimes, but yeah, I'm not... Man, those greens and... Okay, these two colors I did so bad at. Did everybody... Okay. Oh yeah, it looks like most people... Oh, okay, never mind. This one was good. Mochi's last guess was really good. Dang, Mochi, you crushed on that last one. I didn't have time to fix your game. No worries, we'll do it again. We can do it again. We could do... So what I could do is... Also, we could do hard mode. So hard mode only shows it, I think, for like 1 second or something. And it flashes colors first, so it's kind of stupid. I don't know why it flashes colors. But we could do hard mode too.
Hard.
So I'm gonna do a hard... Well, no, I'll wait.
Easy.
So maybe I'll do this. And I will create the game link. And I'll post it here. And then I'm gonna pin it. And I'll pin it, and then you guys can lock in, and once you guys have done it, in 20 minutes. Actually, I'll do it until I unpin. So once you guys do that, I will come back and solve it, and you guys can tell me. Pro gamer, yeah, Pepperly is color genius. I'm pretty happy that I'm in top 3 though so far. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to put the new link up there. There's a new one there if you guys want to do it. Don't cheat. I know that's stupid, but no, there could be a cheater. You could literally screenshot it. Just don't do that. That's... Don't be one of those people. There's going to be somebody, right? Although I do have a hunch that if it's like... I don't know. I don't think it'll be a big deal, but... Most people probably didn't even consider it until I mentioned it. But yeah, no, you guys are good at that. It's tough. Color is hard. And what's funny though is if you do it a few times, I think you can sort of recalibrate. You can learn that like, oh, when I see green and it's kind of yellow, I need to make it a little brighter. Like my brain is telling me it's darker constantly, and so I need to like up the brightness just a touch because I'm constantly too dark. right? And so you can kind of learn little patterns about how you see color. And it's kind of a cool error correcting thing because you can notice that you are constantly too dark or constantly too light or constantly too saturated. And I think that's neat. Funny enough, I think I do better on the desaturated ones from my experience because it's more about like I feel like I'm more sensitive to that. When it's super saturated, it's very hard for me to tell like this color from this color. Like these colors to me, despite being quite a bit different, like they're different hue, they're quite a bit different range of hues, and yet these all feel very similar. It's and you might be significantly farther away on the color wheel. And yet because they're so saturated, it's like I don't really know. It's quite tough. But once you start getting into the desaturated colors, you're into like this versus this, these start becoming even almost more obvious somehow because like I recognize this as a blue gray and this more as a yellow gray. And so I can connect the hues differently, right? And it's kind of weird. I feel like the desaturated stuff is easier for me. And so it's always interesting to find out little quirks of like where your brain goes wrong with color. OMG, this is so fun. It's a cool game. Listening to you while playing makes me significantly worse. Ha ha ha! Gray, green, pink, orange, desaturated yellow. That's there, perfect. Is that gonna ruin people's results? Why are pink so hard? Ooh, somebody said that there's a pink. See, I haven't done this round yet, so I'm waiting for you guys to do it because I'm gonna do it on screen. My goodness, I completely screwed up that first one. Okay, well I haven't seen it yet. Did worse this time? Okay, well it sounds like most of you guys are locking in. Should I pop in? I can pop in once you guys are done with it. Okay, let's give it a go. I'm just gonna unpin it now. 7 have done it so far. Okay. Does anybody else want to do it? There's a color game linked to the top, and we're gonna do a bunch of rounds today because it's fun. But I want to let everybody get a chance before I do it on screen, so that way you guys don't see what's there ahead of time. Not that it matters, but I feel like it's in the spirit of fairness. I feel like it's better to not see the answers before you take the test. Just because it seems like the right thing to do. That was indeed rough. Okay, you guys are all okay. Stoic. Oh, did Stoic ace it? I feel like Stoic might be a secret color god. Or actually, Just Fiction might also be. It's hard to tell. Although, based on Just Fiction's art, I will say Just Fiction killed it in the art department, so it's not surprising if Just Fiction ends up being like a super god. I don't know if there's a correlation. I imagine if you do a lot of studies, you would be more tuned to like color picking, if that's something that you do a lot. I don't do a lot of studies. I do paint in color, and I do pay attention to the slider. But it's all just like vibes. I haven't fine-tuned it. This is a skill I think I could get pretty good at if I worked at it. Maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe that would be a fun thing to like occasionally throughout the year record like how well I started and then how well I end up. Because I bet if this were a skill I were to train and like actively try to like be sensitive to color, I think I could get good at it. Because there are things you can, I mean, I think I'll just trying to pay attention to hue value saturation is a big one, and become more sensitive to like the hues and the values, and maybe you notice that you're missing the value, and you're just looking at the hue and saturation, and then you're wrong on the value, and so you want to become more tuned to that. It's easier to see the color with a gray tone in the background. Oh, interesting. I'm gonna try to get good at it. Yeah, might as well. It seems like a fun thing to do. I mean, it's a little bit of a. I mean, it probably has some application. Like if you see something and you are kind of blown away by it and you want to like, oh, what if I were to replicate that in my own art? You know, but you aren't there right now and you're remembering, you know, maybe you were on your walk and you saw a sunset and you're like, oh, I want to try to recreate that feeling, right? Like maybe just remembering those colors a little better could be a thing, you know? You're just a little more accurate of how you pick colors. Um, but yeah, shall I give it a try now and see how I stack up against all you folks? Totally not a competition, by the way. This is totally insignificant, how people do. Because again, don't think it relates to art. Not too much. I mean, maybe a little, but I think it's overrated. I only say that as a cope. It's me coping. Do it? Okay. I say it so that when I fail, I can be like, yeah, see, it doesn't matter. Yeah, totally. Doesn't matter at all. Doesn't mean a thing. Okay, let's go back. All right. Start playing. Wait, can you guys see this? Yeah, start playing. Here we go. I'm playing on like a... Okay. Ooh, pinkish reddish desaturated. I also find that going kind... Oops. I did not mean to do that. Pinkish reddish. Is that darker? Oh god, I don't even know what I got. I just double clicked. I don't know what I got. I didn't see it. Oh, it's a light pink. Kind of gray. Okay, I should... See, to me, these are still very close, but I'm not that close in score, so I need to be significantly redder. Wait, didn't we just do this color? I thought we just did this color. And I couldn't tell you what it is. I mean, I killed on that one. I thought we just had that color. Maybe it's just pure randomness. And green? This is just green again. Is it like lime green? Slightly yellower? Not terrible. It could have been lighter. Could have been more... I actually might have just been lighter. Another green? Okay, yellow, green. This is darker this time. It's almost olive, but yellow, green, quite darker. Yellow, green, quite darker. We've had some pretty medium... It's not very olive feeling. It's not bad. Seemed pretty... Okay, I think I did good on this one. I think I cooked here. Oh, Stoic. Stoic is playing it. Okay. Stoic with the skills. Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, that one was like, that's just like a super middle green. Man, that first guess ruined it for me. Dude, that first guess? Oh, I was so bad. Oh my goodness, I would have beaten Stoic. Stoic the color god. Dude, that first guess tanked it for me. Oh. Alright, I threw it! We got a lot of people in there. Thanks for joining. No, these are fun. I am pretty happy with my results. I'm consistently okay-ish. Although this, apparently this one, it is a fun game. I think it's fun. We could do another version. I mean, again, we could also try hard mode. You guys want to try? Here, I'll show you what hard mode is. Let me show you.
Hard.
This is a solo play. So it flashes colors, and then it shows this color, like a light blue teal, for not very long. Right? Actually, that's like surprisingly this color, right? Oh my god. Oh no. Oh no. I thought it... Oh gosh. This is my worst one yet. Okay. Thank goodness this isn't multiplayer. A green-gray? Light? Green-gray... Oh gosh, I don't know how warm it is. How am I so bad? Am I not looking at the right color? Am I seeing something different than you guys? What's happening? Hold on. Thank goodness this isn't competition. It's a dark blue-gray. Is it darker than that? It seemed pretty dark. That one, oh, that was good. This is how artist gambling would look? Dude, I got lucky with that one. Okay. It's a very light blue-ish. Medium saturation. Very light. Oh gosh, I don't remember what it was. It was more saturated, wasn't it? Oh! Oh my goodness, this is... The hard mode is killing me. Okay, last one. It's like a purple, red... No, not purple, it's reddish. It's a reddish... maroon. Is that the color? I don't remember. I've already forgotten. Oh. Ugh. That's okay. I'm happy with that one. Okay, that was terrible. I'm better than 21% of players. That's above average. No, what? That's not above average. Better than 21% of players? Sir, that is it. Only there's 80% people better than me, or 79% of people are better than me is what that's saying. That is not above average. That's almost everyone is better than me. Above average in whose universe is 21%? If it said better than 81% of players, right? Am I wrong? How it wait. Better, yeah, no, this is okay anyway. You did better on hard. You got better than 92. Yeah, see, that's good. Yeah. Okay, but here. Okay, now we can... I think average is 20. Yeah, but that's... If it was average, it would say better than 50% at 25 out of 50, right? But that's not what it is. No, this is just lying to me. It says above average, and then it gives me stats based on better than 21% of players. That's not average. That's just lying. It doesn't want to hurt my feelings. Yeah, instead of saying you are terrible. Anyway, so yeah, we can do hard mode for the Brave
Multiplayer.
Here, I'll post the link. Oh, I don't know if that one's...
Link copied.
There we go. I'll pin it to the top for just a moment. More pin to chat. Wait, how do I pin message? Pin message. Is this the one? I don't know if I clicked the right one. I think the new link is up there now. Or it's the one in chat. You guys can see at the bottom. Anyway. I will do this down here. I don't know, this game is fun though. It's tough. It is a tough one. The hard mode is gonna be a pain. I have a hunch. But we'll see. Maybe I just need a warm-up. That's what it was, right? Just a warm-up. That's all I needed. So I tell myself there's going to be a lot of coping in this stream as I make excuses for my lackluster performance. I know it now. I do find that going quickly is actually not bad, because it's more about, like, vibes. But it does kind of tell you where your vibes are wrong, right? Which is kind of a cool little thing. But yeah, anyway, hope everyone's doing well today. Hope the day is going nicely. A beautiful day for struggling at color challenges. I don't know how regular this is gonna be, but we could do like a color challenge redeem, where people can do the redeem option or something, and then we all play together. That could be fun. I don't know how regular I'll want to do it. I do quite like it, but I don't know if it's the best art content. I mean, maybe it is quite literally the best art content. Lord, hard is rough, dude. I feel like it is. Yeah. I didn't get which flashing color. Yeah, I know. It's hard. It's the last one. It says, like, ready, set, go. It's the last one that it shows you. Yeah, it is a little confusing. I don't like it. I think it could have been designed better. But I think it's doing that to, like, color relativity you. It's, like, throwing the color relativity wrench in your face and being like, here's all these colors, and now tell me what this new color is. These grays make me feel self-conscious. I do wonder how does the average non-art... So the stats are like, better than 50% of people, right? Or better than 21% of people, or better than 80%. Most people who do this, though, are artists, right? So, like, how does, like, the person who's never painted in their life do? I'm curious. Like, do you think there's a distinct difference between, like, me who paints and someone who's never painted? Because surely just having the vocab to, like, desaturated, dark, lime, greenish, bluish, and, like, you can kind of create a system so that you can reconstruct the color based on your words and knowledge. Oh no, Pavik. Is it tricky? Uh-oh. I think the last black... I think it shows a black screen before, and I don't think that's typically the color, right? Yeah, we're gonna have some rough scores in this one, and that's okay. Whoa, I am lightheaded. Oh no! This one is doing things to people. Joe, when you see mine, remember I have aphantasia. Yeah, no worries. I'm not judging people based on their color picking. As someone who doesn't color pick like that in my art, I do not think it's that important of a skill. I've already said that. I think it is a skill you will pick up if you do a lot of studies, probably, but I don't do a lot of studies. Or if you pay attention to the color wheel a lot. Yeah, I wouldn't judge people based on that. It's not one of those... It's not a proxy for, like, art skill or self-worth or anything, right? I realize putting, like, a competition of some sort... Not a competition, but, like, I realize having a leaderboard for art-related tasks can be really, like... It can probably make people feel certain ways. But yeah, it's just a fun game. It's not related to your self-worth. And also, there's no, being quick, having random colors flashing is, that's not like a stable environment that an artist would, like, when a lot of times when we talk about color, You know, we paint on like a grayish background, right? Or we, if you don't know colors, you can zoom in, zoom out. You can add other colors around it, you know, darken your screen, lighten. Like there's things you can do to sort of make sure you're seeing better colors. When you're flashed random colors and like, quick, tell me what this color is, this random color in the middle of this purple, tell me what that is. Like that begins to be really hard because this is going to look different. A super hard mode would be this, right? It would give you a saturated color and then it would put a contrasting color next to it and be like, tell me what this color is. And then you would have to know that this is a blue, right? And your brain would be like, this doesn't look blue to me. And so that would be really, really hard. Luckily, they don't do that, but they do something similar, right? With the weird flashing. I can't do this, guys. It's all good, Pavik. No worries. I remember the last ones, but then it shows the absolutely different ones. Yeah, it's a little weird. I don't get the whole flashing thing. That just feels unnecessary, to be honest. But we'll see how it goes. I haven't really done it yet. Color is so relative to what's around it. This removes all of that context. Yeah, exactly. That's what makes it tough, right? I mean, I guess the background, at least in fairness, the background is white, right? And so it is a pretty consistent thing. Or maybe the background is black. I don't remember. At least it's consistent in that regard. If it were also changing the background color, it would be impossible, right? Especially when you get into the subtle grays. Again, I'm sure there's tricks to calibrate. Like, if you know the background is purple and you see something as a blue, you can sort of reverse engineer what it should be. Because you can understand the context. And knowing what the context is, you can then, like, backwards work. But if you just base on vibes and you have conflicting color information, you're going to do poorly, right? Because, like, again, similar to that saturation one, if I were to put a saturated color here and put another color in here and was like, what's this color, right? Your brain might be like, oh, it's kind of a bluish gray, or maybe it is a bluish gray, right? But your brain would say it's one color, but you'd have to, like, reverse engineer what it might, you know, knowing that it looks bluish gray, maybe it's not. Oh, it actually is, right? But, like, it could have been something different. Yeah, no, color's tough. Color's a tricky thing. Again, I think color picking like that is probably, if you do a lot of studies or you do a lot of, like, plein air painting, I bet you're probably pretty good at it. If you do just a lot of, like, what I'm doing, I don't know if there's any reason to think that I'd be good at it. Saturation messes you up. I have the value. To me, I think in some ways, I mean, I think all of it messes me up. I've had some struggles on all of them. Okay, let's try it. Let me try my hand at this hard mode. All right, here we go. Hard mode. Fingers crossed. Oh, very dark blue-green saturated. Very dark blue-green saturated. Not bad. It was more green. Oh god, this color is... Holy crap, what is that? What is that? That was a very desaturated brown? What was that one? What was that? Was that... What was that color? That wasn't the color. Hold on. It was very desaturated. What if I change hue? How do I know which hue it was? Hold on. Is it red? No, I'm not asking chat. I'm rhetorical. I'm not looking at chat. Oh my... That wasn't very... Wait, did I look at the wrong color? What is happening? Okay. Am I looking at the wrong color? Wasn't this a dark blue-gray again? Am I crazy? Oh, that one was like... Oh, what? Okay, I got that one super lucky. That was pure luck. You're either cheating or broken, or lucky. Okay, that was the luckiest thing I've ever done. Lime green bright. Yeah, lime green bright. Lime green. You got that one. I was pretty close. Okay. I'm locking in here. Oh, bright hot pink. More bright than I think it is, I think. I've learned from my hot pinks. It's... Oh, I killed this one. This is the best game yet, I think. Oh, Joaz! Oh, I didn't beat Joaz! Oh my gosh, Joaz! What in the wait, how did you get such 9? Wait, what? Joaz's first guess. Dude, what was this? The second one was the... Okay, Stoic crushed that one. Who else? Did everybody do good on this one except me? That one was tough. This second guess, though, what in the world was that? Undisputed skill? Joaz with that skill, holy. Dude, Joaz, I don't know what was going on with you, but you were crushing it. One of us did not do well. It doesn't matter. Basilisk, you said you didn't do well? That's fine. It's tricky because I think Pavik got confused because it was flashing colors unrelated. So it's a little tricky because it is flashing colors, and if you don't know what color to guess, but it's the last one because it has words on the screen. It says ready. It's like doot 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 doot, kind of like Mario Kart, right? And it's the last tick. It's like after the last beep. No, it's fine. This isn't a competition. I am always just impressed that like you know, Fiction's up there, Stoic's up there, Joaz is up there. Like there is some again, this doesn't directly relate to art skill, right? This is just its own separate skill. And it isn't interesting to see who has those skills, right? Like, or at least this very particular set of skills. Here, we're gonna do I do enjoy this. Here, I'm gonna unpin this one. Sorry. I have a particular set of skills. I will find you based on your color. Wait, that sounds really bad. Hold on. No, not that. Wait, that's not what I meant to say. That sounds evil.
Multiplayer.
That sound.
Link copied.
Okay, here we go. I'll copy the link. I'll pin it again. It's hard mode. So be warned. You have been warned. You also forgot to put dark mode? Yeah, I didn't put dark mode, but I don't know. But it is an interesting thing. It is a fun... Yeah, I'd like to get better at this over the course of the year. Like, maybe I'll do a few of these in stream. But anyway, there's another hard one mode up if you guys want to play. We'll do it again in a bit. I enjoy this a lot. These are so fun. Because it's something for me to like lock in on, and it's a little short bursts of like dopamine. This is very much like gambling to me. Somebody mentioned that earlier. It's like if artists could gamble. This feels a little bit like that, except it's still like, you know, there is a skill there. Again, I'm not sure what skill, but it's something to color picking. But it's fun. It's like I gotta just really lock in, and it's like just like a short few seconds of like a super analysis of like dark, saturated, slightly more yellowish. And in my head, like the words that I'm saying aren't everything. Like there's more, you know, comparisons being going on in my head, but it's kind of like that where I think the language of color is a big part. I have a hunch. I am curious to Joaz and Fiction, and Stoic, because you guys are constantly sitting up there in the leaderboard. When you think of color, are you doing it? You're probably in the thing right now. But when you think of color, are you trying to put it into familiar terms, or are you just going on vibes and like internalizing, or are you like trying to take note of like, okay, this is a lime green, but it's slightly on the warm side and it's a little bit saturated or desaturated, but also pretty low value or something? Like, is that kind of what you're doing? Are you vocal? Like, are you turning it into a structured way of understanding, or are you just pure vibes? Because I definitely turn it into a structure that I can think about. Tried dark mode, all my colors were too bright. Oh no, Drusilla. Just got done too fast and messed up. Yeah, there is variance in here, right? Because obviously none of our guesses are so perfect, and so there is variance. And so some of our guesses are just going to be awful, and some of them are going to be super good. So like if I were to do the same test multiple, or not test, but if I were to do the same challenge multiple times, I would not get the same answers, right? I have to see it via values, otherwise I'm not really reading the colors. Gotcha. You're getting better. Oh, that's good, Schmeckleberry. That's good. Yeah, I do think this is a thing that we'll all get better at if we do it a bunch, because you do learn about how your perception of colors, right? Like if you're there's a self-correcting thing, I would imagine. And obviously if you know, yeah. Hard mode is tough, and I we can go back to normal after this if we want to make it a little bit more kind on people. Pepperly is back. Nice. Did Pepperly crush it again? We bow. Is Pepperly cheating? Pepperly, turn off the second monitor, or stop taking screenshots. Did dark mode help? Maybe I'll have to try dark mode here in a bit. Or is dark mode making it too bright? No, I'm kidding. I'm obviously not accusing people of cheating. I don't even know the scores. Yeah, no, I'm not accusing people of cheating. That was a joke. It's not that serious, guys. Turn off aim. Yeah, stop aimbotting. Yeah, can we? No aimbotting. No hacking. Whatever. You know, I think when I do this, I'm gonna have my younger brother do this. If he's listening, which he isn't, but if he was, I would love to know what he does, how he does in this, because he doesn't do art. I believe he has done art. I'm actually curious how like some of like my mom and my sister, they've done a lot of like I have memories of them being very particular over colors, like really caring about the shade of paint when painting their rooms or their homes, and like just really trying to like make sure they like it, and being like sort of, you know, especially as like a younger me, thinking that, oh wow, they must like really care about color, you know? But they don't do art really, so I'm curious if that's just like they're being particular, or how, I wonder how they do. Because like I do have a hunch that like the way that I paint is probably not unhelpful, right? It's probably kind of useful in that, because I do look at the color sliders quite a bit. And so if I'm painting in like this dark color, oh, that's not a dark color, that's literally the opposite, right? I have looked at like, oh, this is a desaturated, you know, teal. And so there are probably some colors that I'm pretty attuned to. So just by dumb luck, kind of the way that I paint is probably okay for that. But yes, apparently I gotta take notes from Just Fiction. Oh, Basilisk says, "Oh, Joe, I'm getting back into art." I'm very happy to hear that, Basilisk. I haven't made anything really, but I've done a lot of thinking about what I want to do, and I've gathered references, and I'm getting more motivated. Hopefully, I can get back to it soon. I hope so too. Not that you're asking for it, but my unsolicited advice, Basilisk, is don't put too much pressure on yourself to like make the perfect thing. I know sometimes people can hype themselves up and up and up and up. You know, you get the reference, you think about what you want to do, you plan and perfect, and then it's never going to be that perfect, right? Like so you can hype yourself up and then end up disappointing yourself, or not disappointing yourself, but like it can take the wind out of your sails, kind of. So like just yeah, I hope you're able to have fun with it and do art for the reasons you want to do, and yeah, I hope it all goes well. Try to take it easy. Don't put don't try to put too much pressure on yourself. Because I always my spidey sense always tingles when people are like, I have this huge thing planned. It's gonna be awesome. You know, I've been planning for years, but I haven't done it yet. I'm like, oh boy. Ooh, that's gonna be a struggle, you know? You always, not that that's what you said, but I always have this like this inkling of like, oh man, that's a rough spot to be in, because it's gonna like that. You gotta be careful there. Tread carefully. You said, "Ha, nah, my plan is." Yeah, the burnout alarm is sound. Yeah. Your plan is to study some environment and critters. Oh, nice. That's a good plan. That's a good plan. Yeah, your burnout alarm. I like that. My burnout alarm is tingling, or is sounding. I like that phrase. No, a while back there was somebody, I don't know, shouldn't say he. Also, I just realized hopefully, did I miss? If anybody chat on YouTube, I apologize. I didn't see your chat. If anybody's listening on YouTube and you want to join in on the thing, the challenge, I'll post it again. I think that's the one. I don't think I've done this one yet, right? Pretty sure I haven't done this one yet. This is the one I think you guys have already done. I wonder if it remembers that you did it if you click it again. Do you get to do a take 2? I wonder if it lets you try again. Probably not. Hopefully not. But yeah, that's the same one. It is hard mode, so be forewarned. Feeling the burnout. Haven't been drawing much this past year, trying to get back into it. That's good. Yeah, take it slow. I mean, I think with art mostly, because like for most people, art is a hobby, right? And it should be a hobby. Or I say should be, but like, you know, it's a healthy way to treat it as a hobby, you know? And I think if it is a hobby, you don't need to force yourself to do it. If you don't feel like doing art, don't do it. Don't beat yourself up over it. Like, would you beat yourself up for like, oh, I haven't done a puzzle in a month. I haven't done a puzzle in a year. Shame on me. Like, no. Who cares? Do a puzzle when you want to do a puzzle, right? Like, that's how hobbies work. I think some people, it's for some reason there's like this identity thing with art, right? Where like your identity gets wrapped up in it. You're like, I'm an artist. I make art. And then you're like, well, what if I don't feel like making art? Am I no longer an artist? And like there's all these big questions that start bubbling up, and it becomes, I think it can become really tricky for some people. And I think it's important to remind yourself to like, you don't have to make art all day. You can take month-long breaks. You can take year-long breaks. It doesn't really matter. Like, you're no less of an artist or a person. I mean, technically, I guess wrapping an identity up in something you're not doing is a little tough, I guess, but maybe don't worry about your identity in that. Like, I don't think being an artist makes you a better person than somebody who doesn't identify as an artist. So, I'm just trying to offer my words of wisdom or encouragement. Not wisdom. I don't think I'm wise enough to give wisdom. but I can encourage people. Hopefully. Bassa says, I'm also getting a new digital camera since I used to do photography and it's been a bit. Oh, that's cool. That seems like a really fun skill. I want to do more photography. I always feel weird though in public taking photos because like I want to experiment with like angles and like me getting really close to the ground for a low angle photo just always feels weird to like be doing weird contortions in public and like putting my camera in strange places and I always feel weird with that. So like me being in public doing photography has always felt funny. Have I experienced burnout? I don't know. Probably. I think I have. Yeah, I think I've experienced burnout, especially in personal work. I mean, even like right now, I haven't done personal work off stream in probably like a year, almost. I mean, I've done a little bit, but like not much. I don't know if that's burnout though. It's also just like changing motivations and goals and like the things that I do with art. Like I like art on stream. I in some ways it's almost like a job that I love. And I don't know if that like like maybe when I start out I have like high expectations for myself of like I love streaming or I love making art and I just want to do it all the time. But then it's like at some point I don't know if I need to make it all the time, Or maybe I just maybe I do a lot of art already and I don't feel like I need to put the pressure on myself to make more off stream. I don't know if that's burnout. It might just be change, my tastes and interests and goals and aspirations are changing over time. But it also might be burnout. I don't know. It's hard for me to even know. Like there's definitely times where like I'm not feeling making art in the moment. Like it'll be a day off stream. It'll be like a Friday. And I'll be like, I could paint, but now I don't really want to. I'm not feeling it. Is that burnout? I don't know. It might be, but it also might just be me taking on that hobbyist mindset and like not treating it like a job and treating it like a hobby and just not being in the mood for it, I also think of art a lot as like communication, and I don't think you always have a story to tell or a project you want to work on, and I think that's okay, right? You might be a writer and just not have, imagine you're a speech writer and you love writing speeches for people, but maybe you just don't have a speech you want to write, or maybe there's just not a thing that you want to say in this very moment and you just want to like go out and explore and learn without having to like shout it to the world, and so you just aren't in the mood for writing. The idea of painting stresses you out. I mean, I don't know about stressing me out. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of days where like painting feels like a lot of work and then you just don't do it. I don't know. I'm not sure about stressing me out. I mean, I would get more stressed in some ways from not painting and feeling like I should, but also not wanting to at the same time because like I'm not in the mood or I don't have enough energy. But I don't know if that's burnout. It could just be like other things in life are more energy, right? Maybe I think I'm just really good at like coping and self-rationalization. And so I'm good at making excuses for myself. So I don't know if it's burnout because I can excuse it from a million other angles. But I don't know if it matters, right? Like, I think I've felt it. I think I've felt the thing that you guys are talking about when you describe burnout. Like, a lack of, getting exhausted just thinking about making art or, like, or if I'm doing it, like, for example, with stream, there are definitely days where, like, I know that it's a stream day, and in that sense, in my mind, I have to stream because I've decided that I'm going to stream, kind of like going to work, and you just don't want to go to work, and so you do it anyway. But then sometimes as you're at work, it's like, coworkers cheer you up and it's suddenly a good time, or the people in stream are awesome and as the 2-hour mark passes, you start getting in the groove of it. But like that initial starting stream might not have been fun. It might have felt like a chore, but I did it anyway. I don't know. I have a hard time sort of self-diagnosing these things. I don't, it's very hard for me to put that label on it because I just don't know. But I think ultimately I have felt apprehension towards making art. I have felt a lot of negative, like emotions around like, self-doubt or things that make me feel like I should do art, but maybe I don't want to in this moment. I have felt all that. But they might be for different reasons than like burnout. They could be other things, like just other stuff going on in life, or me questioning whether, I'm wasting time or something. Like I don't know. It could be any number of things. It's just hard for me to put that label of burnout on it. But I think probably the answer is yes, if I had to be super blunt about it. I probably have experienced burnout. I might be experiencing it right now, but I don't think so. I just haven't done a personal work off stream in a long time. There is a little feeling in the back of my head, yelling at me, being like, I should do more art off stream. But then when I'm actually off stream, I'm like, I don't really want to do art. I'm going to be addicted to video games instead. Again, is that burnout or is that addiction to other things? I don't know. In the mind of Joe, burnout or not? But I am happy with this painting. I'm vibing with it. Like when I'm actually painting, especially on stream, I'm loving it. I love painting on stream. So I don't think I'm burnt out. I'm certainly not burnt out from painting on stream. Maybe other areas. I'm gonna be addicted to video games instead of has been fun. Ooh, being addicted to video games instead has been fun. I mean, yeah, I it's not an addiction that I think is a problem in my life because it's not like I'm at work and I'm calling out of work and I'm skipping things obligations that I should. It's not causing problems, so I don't think it's really that big of an issue. But it is a thing. Anyway, this is a fun painting. Okay, let's do the color challenge now. Let's take a break from this super serious mood and do the color game. I have to remember this is hard mode. Gotta lock in. Okay, hold on. Let me make sure I can still read chat. Not that you guys are gonna help me. Okay, let's go. Lock in. Ready, set, go. And then this color here. It's a lightish bluish gray-ish. Lightish, bluish, grayish. Not great, but not bad. Okay, lock in. Lime green. Oh, no, that's not lime green. That's oh, what? No, that was a blue. Hold on. I said lime green. Oh, no, I looked at the wrong color. Isn't this the same color we just had? That's bad. Wait, how is that so high? These are completely different. Maybe it was the same hue, but the wrong value. Oh, I looked at the wrong color, though. Oh, no. Okay, lock in. Brown, yellow. No, it's warmer than that. Was it dark? How are these so high? What's happening? This should not be an 8. This should be like a 1. What is happening here? Okay, lock in. Lock in, lock in. This is black. What's How is that a high score? I'm getting annoyed because I don't think these are close. Okay, lock in. A teal, slightly saturated. Okay, this one I can do. Wait. Oh no, I forgot. I forgot what it is. This? Ooh, that was my worst one. Okay. Well, that was not good, but that's okay. Oh, I fifth. Pepperly up top, dude. Pepperly, Stoic Fiction. The three and Schmeckle. That nice one, Schmeckle. Oof. That was a tough one. That sounds pretty fun. It's a color game. They flash colors at you and you have to match it. Oh yeah, this is a color game. Sorry, what's this game? Yes, so Skittle, here, let me show you. Here, Skittle, let me go back in non-hard mode, because this one, the color flashing is not, that is just there to throw you off. Like the sound. Anyway, here.
Multiplayer.
And the crowd goes wild, yeah. Here's the link. Wait, no, that's not the link.
Copied.
Is it the link? No, that's not the link. Ignore that link. It's the new one. I'm gonna spam it. It's the new link. It's not pinned to chat. Gosh, there's too many links. Hold on. Unpin this message. It's the new one that's pinned. Hold on. That one. This should not be. What the heck? How did I score higher than you? I flubbed it, dude. No, I think I'm just not good. I'm just not good. That's English. I don't think I'm like good at color or anything. I mean, I'm okay, I think, but I wouldn't like brag about it. You know, certainly my color skills are not as good as they could be. But I think I score typically in like the, you know, the 8s or 9s most rounds. But anyway, that's the thing. I'll do it on screen in a moment. I'll let you guys get your scores in. That way it's not being broadcast beforehand. That way everybody's getting a fair shot at it. Yeah, I paint a lot in color, but I don't do a lot of color picking, right? I do a lot of, like, I'm not picking from photos and like looking at the color, and so I'm not getting a lot of testing, right? And in a lot of learning, there's like that loop where you learn something, or you make a guess, you see your results, and then you check it, right? The analysis, right? I'm not doing the analysis to see how my guess was. If my guess was wrong, it was wrong, and I don't do like a, you know, I don't complete the loop to like to learn. And so there's this fragmented section here where I should technically have another step in the learning process, which is like the analysis stage. So I don't do a lot of that when I'm color picking, because I'm not trying to be accurate. I'm just like going on vibes in some ways. Like I mean, I'm still using hue, saturation, value, so I still think I learned the colors, but so I think I'm okay at it, but it's more of like, yeah, it's not super accurate. Like, my goal isn't to be accurate, right? I've said that a lot. If I'm painting from a photo, very rarely is my goal to be accurate colors. Typically my goal is to understand. Woo! Oh, Basilisk, how'd it go? But yeah, I'm curious how Skittle does. I did pretty good that time? Nice. Yeah, Skittle, how did you do? Did you do it? I want to know Skittle's score. Skittle is my arch nemesis. Or wait, arch rival? Wait, Skittle? No, Skittle's not a nemesis. What is he? He's a friendly competition? It's not good to call someone their arch nemesis. That's not good, right? Skittle is I feel like unnecessary rival. I got second place in the first link. I've not done the second link yet. Gotcha. Hold on. The first link wasn't the real link. Isn't that the one that we just did? Oh, Skittle did do good. Dang, Skittle. No cheating. Just kidding. I don't think Skittle's cheating. I think Skittle's just good at this stuff. Yeah, that first one I struggled with. He came out swinging? Yeah. I think Skittle's gonna do... I mean, he paints with a lot of color, and he does a lot of, like, turn his screen grayscale, flip upside down. Like, those things do put, like, a stress test on you to, like, it forces you to double check stuff, right? Like, any sort of, like, weird color thing where, like, you talk about color relativity. Yeah, he does seem good at color. It's so weird because I'm better at hard mode. See, that to me, it makes me think that you have a really good, like, intuitive, right? Whereas, like, I'm not as good at hard mode because I think I logic through the color a bit. Like I talk to myself, right? I'm like, oh, it's a greenish, bluish, brown. And then I learn from that. Whereas in hard mode, I have less time to do that. It's more just like vibes. And I think sometimes if your vibes are on point, right? If you've trained yourself, you can just kind of go with it and it'll work. Whereas I think if you have, I don't know, that's my thought. I did notice that hard mode has more desaturated and dark colors, which is definitely hard. Dark mode might be the play there. Yeah, dark mode might be the play on that, on hard mode, or on easy mode. But on easy mode, it's a lot more saturated colors, and I find those are tough. You got really close visually and scored on... It sounds like a saturated color. I think if you're getting really close visually and it only scored... It's probably saturated. Am I wrong? Is that a fair assumption to make? Saturation is tricky because, like, for example, this color, right, to me feels very similar to this color, and yet we're like a good sliver away on the color wheel, right? Or same like here, right? These all feel the same, and yet these on the color wheel are significantly far away, right? Like if you look at the color wheel jumping around, it's the same distance from this to this, right? These two colors are the same distance from these two colors. That's wild to me, right? Because these look like they're the same. You can't even see the difference. Like, isn't that weird? So yeah, if you're getting the saturated colors, it's really hard. Yeah, saturated blues, I could see that. There's definitely also some dark blues that are really tough to tell, like this, right? Or even like purple blues. Purple blue and dark blue can get really, really tricky to tell. See, look at the jump from that one. Like, to me, these are very similar, and yet we're jumping from basically a purple to basically a light blue that's dark, that's saturated. Like, the jump is crazy. Saturation really throws things out of whack. I messed up a few because I forgot what the color was, but I got close on a few. Yeah, there's a lot of variance in this. And that's why I think it's important to remember, like, even if you feel like you're not doing well, it does not mean anything about you or your skill as an artist or really anything. It reminds me a little bit of, like, there are these, I think there's a term for it in learning, in learning science, that's not what they call it, where, like, when you're learning a skill, there will be other skills that you oftentimes pick up. So like a sprinter might end up being a good high, like just vertical jumper because they're training their leg muscles, but they're never actively training them to jump. But they just, by the nature of running and you know, sprinting, your calf muscles to jump, you know, do get some training, right? Or if you do a lot of like, you know, running or, you know, like whatever type of thing you do, you might also build this other skill, right? And in chess, there's a really common one, which is blindfold chess, and visualization, just from learning and doing a lot of chess puzzles and playing a lot and, you know, thinking about annotation on the board. You eventually can just visualize the board and you can play blindfolded, even if you've never practiced that skill. But if all you practice is blindfold visualization, it's not going to make you a good chess player, right? And so being good at blindfold chess doesn't mean you're a good blindfold chess, or it doesn't mean you're a good chess player, right? Or being a good high jumper doesn't automatically make you a good sprinter, right? Even though there might be that correlation going one direction. And I feel like that's kind of that skill. Like if you do a lot of plein air painting or a lot of color studies, you might pick some stuff up and be okay at it, but it doesn't mean you're a great painter. And not all good painters are going to have that skill, right? Like, I think it doesn't. I guess what I'm trying to say, I don't think the arrow goes both ways, and so not being good at this skill doesn't mean anything, because that's not a skill you're practicing, and your art might be doing something different, like if you're doing a lot of lines, or you're doing a lot of black and white stuff, or maybe it's just a different way of, maybe it's your process of coloring. You may not be picking that thing up, and it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't make you a worse artist, or, I just want to make sure no one feels bad, because it's very rare that we put numbers and scores next to anything art related. Like, this is not, it's so weird. I feel like this could do things to people's confidence in unwanted ways if we do this a lot. So I want to be really, really clear about that this is not like a... Yeah, I don't... Because I feel like this could be a... I just hope that that this doesn't, like, make people overly self-conscious. And maybe because I'm talking about it, it's going to. I don't know. See ya, Basilisk. Thanks for hanging out. It was a lot of fun, and also good luck getting back into art. I hope you have a lot of fun doing art. Thank you for popping in. It's always good to see you. Good discussions about names and stuff too. Yeah, good chats. To quote an Always Sunny character, if I'm doing bad in the game, I'm doing bad in life. No, that's the opposite. No, not that. If I'm doing bad in the game, I'm doing bad. Yeah, that's the opposite of what I'm trying to say. Doing bad in a game doesn't mean anything about how you're doing in life. But, I'm trying to think of another time where we have, like... I mean, I guess art contests, like literal challenges and contests with, like, judging. But... even then, I feel like there's always that subjective issue, whereas this is kind of an objective thing. So it's very rare that you have an objective art-related or art-tangential challenge. And it's not really I mean, it's... Anyway, art-tangential is probably the better term, because it's not really about art. I don't know. It's very weird. I guess I wonder, do musicians with, like, perfect pitch feel that way? Where, like... they judge themselves against other musicians who have perfect pitch because they can't do as well on a pitch test. Like, I bet there's some serious self-conscious stuff in that realm. Or, like, are musicians who think they'll never be as good as someone because they don't have perfect pitch? Right? Like, that's gotta be a thing that affects musicians, right? Where, like, that self-consciousness creeping in. Because that's kind of what this feels like. Although I don't think there's such a thing as perfect color, though. I have perfect color. Please, what an egotistical statement. Egotistical statement of the century. I'm a perfect colorist. Oh no. Don't ever say that. That just makes it sound like you're do other creatives judge each other in arbitrary skills taken out of context? Nah. Sarcasm, yeah. No, but, like, I think it's not about judging each other. It's more about judging yourself. Like saying, oh, I'm never going to succeed as a musician because I don't have perfect pitch. Or, oh, I'm never going to succeed as an artist because I'm colorblind. Right? Like, I think the difference is that perfect pitch is, like, a thing that we know people are dang good at. Whereas, like, color... is typically you don't put a number to it, right? This game puts a weird number to it, which makes it feel like it's a competition. Well, I mean, it kind of is. We literally had a leaderboard. Which I feel like that sort of adding a competition to it could make you feel bad about yourself if you like aren't on the top, or if you don't think of yourself as a competitive person and now you're seeing yourself on the leaderboard, it can feel bad. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, I think it's just good fun. Also, did I try the newest one? I don't think I did. I haven't tried this one. Let me try it. I'm gonna try it right now. Is it? Oh, it's a blue. It's a light blue, sky blue. What is it? Right? This. I do know it's probably saturated. That light blue, sky blue. No, it's lighter than that. But it could be lighter this way too. That's not bad. It's yeah, it's not bad. That's actually a good score. Okay, this is a dark brown. It's a little bit reddish. It's kind of dark saturation. It's a little dark. Nope. This is where dark mode is gonna kill me. It's a little reddish brown. Not bad. That was about as good as it could have been. Okay. It's a reddish... Oh gosh. Desaturated, reddish... pinkish? Was it this up here? No. Is it down here? I don't even know where in the color wheel we are. Reddish, pinkish... Were we all the way down here? I don't actually know. Now I can't remember. I forgot what the color was. Is it darker? No, it's not. I don't know. I kind of remember. Okay, I'm crushing it. Hey, little Leo, how's it going? Okay, I gotta lock in for I'm doing good so far. I haven't flubbed it yet. It's just a matter of time, though. Okay, oh, this is a dark brown, kind of saturated. Dark reddish brown, super dark reddish brown. But more red. Okay, that was good. One more, lock in. Oh god, saturation purple. Oh, I'm bad at these. Purple blue. It's bluish purple. It has to be, right? Purplish blue. Super no, that's too blue. How bright was it? Was it brighter? There? Okay, I feel really... Damn, okay. I feel good. This is my best one yet. This has got to be my best one. Okay, that was the best I've ever done. I feel like the blue, I don't understand. That was... Holy crap. I got so lucky. Okay, that was the luckiest I've ever done. That was luck. All lucky. All lucky. That was a good one. I'm proud of myself. Yeah, I think these... Normally the saturation ones kill me, but I think I got lucky in the reds. These dark brown ones, I felt good about. This one, honestly, I think it was just luck. That last one, I think if I were to do this game again, I would not get the same score. I think the blue one and the purple one I got lucky. But the reds, though, I felt pretty good about. Except this light one. Oh, okay, that was good. I'm gonna pat myself on the back. I'm gonna take the win there. It's not a win against you guys. It's a win for me because I'm trying not to sound like a snob here, but I'm glad it went well because I couldn't have asked for it to go better. Holy dang, yeah, seriously. That was the luckiest one of the... I don't think I could have done better. How is that light one such a high score? I don't know. I don't know. I don't understand how it is. It is vision. That's the weird thing about this. I don't really understand. Oh, how do I have two windows open? I have two menus open. Which one's the right one? No, they're both just the default screen. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Wait, how do I go back to it? Can I click the link? What happens if... Oh, it opened up a new chat. So, yeah, if I... Yeah, I don't know how, like, this red one got a high score. That makes no sense. Maybe it's because, like, the hue is close, but the lightness... So maybe it's, like, on a three slider system, so, like, hue, value, saturation. So maybe if you nail the hue and the saturation, but the value is wrong, then maybe you still get good points. And so there can be a disparity between look as long as the rest of the color metrics are correct. That's my guess, because it's probably guessing like hue value saturation slider. Yeah, exactly. So if you get more than one slider correct, then you're probably... That's probably how it's coded. That's my guess. But yeah, it is weird. You can have a color like this, for example. Like based on their judging, this would probably be closer in score than like... this, right? Which is, you know, my brain says these are much closer, but the score would probably give these as closer, right? So yeah, there's probably a weighting to like the value or the hue. Yeah, I think the hue is probably weighted more. So that's my guess, is that these would be less close than these. But it's kind of weird. I haven't quite understood it, which is probably good. No, I mean, actually, it's probably not good, because I think, especially when you were talking like greens, there's a lot of wiggle room in hue, right? To go back to our earlier point. The same hue can look very similar, and so it kind of feels like luck, right? It's a little bit lucky if you're going to get the right color. That's also like the blue one. I know you guys mentioned blue, and I was like, I know from experience with painting with blues that you can have like a wildly different blue that looks the same because it's like near purple, but also if you make it desaturated, that's when the purple starts showing, right? So this color looks very blue until you drop the saturation. So if you know that it's a desaturated color and it's very blue, you know that it's not the purple blue, right? And so there are little things like that where, like, otherwise, how do you distinguish between these two, right? How can you tell between these two blues, right? But if you know that they're both saturated, then you're basically just rolling the dice because you don't know. But if you do know that one is a desaturated color just by a little bit, like this, right? You know that this cannot be a purple blue, because if it were, it would actually look purple, right? Or that's here, right? This would actually look purple. But if it were saturated, you'd be screwed because you don't know, right? So there are some colors that are like that, where you learn little things about colors, and like when do they look confusing, and how do you differentiate between them? I know some of that stuff, but not a lot. I think in that last round, it was basically just luck, though. Because I didn't know the blue. The blue just was saturated. It could have been anything. I can try to rationalize it and explain it, but I can't. Because that one was just dumb. I feel like I don't like the saturated ones. They do feel luck-based. A little bit. Because it's the foundational metric. True, yeah, typically you start there, I think. Just Fiction says the education thing is so real. I really get the feeling a lot of teachers in creative spaces often favorite who they perceive as better rather than appreciate diversity and try to guide students to find their own ways. Oh yeah, I think that's a pretty well studied thing in education, isn't it? Of like, I mean, there's been experiments where they've done that very thing. They I think there's been some longitudinal studies where they track students. They gave no, it wasn't longitudinal. They gave teachers a fake evaluation of students at the start of the year, and then by the end of the year, those students, their grades and their performance in class like was very close to what their fake evaluation said. So if you were a teacher and you were told this student does poorly, they're lazy, they don't like, they don't like math, and they, they're a little bit below average in reading skills, that will color your perception. Or if another teacher says something to another teacher, that can color their perception. And like there's all these little factors of like, if someone does a bad first impression and you get in your mind that they are, like they just don't care, or maybe they have something going on at home, you can start treating them as if that is true, and then it colors every interaction with them, and it's like a big deal. Like it can really mess up with like how students do. And so, now imagine you're from a neighborhood, maybe you talk a certain way and a teacher has a bias, and like it can affect your entire schooling. It's like a big deal of like having these little judgments bias you. And it's not like the teachers are doing it intentionally, right? It's not like every teacher who does this is like a terrible person and racist and super biased or sexist or whatever, right? Or just, judging people based on their socioeconomic class. Like, no, it might just be this subtle bias creeping in. And all of a sudden, anytime there's a judgment, the teacher's just making a slightly unfair judgment against you because again, it's not malicious. Like, it's a thing. It's just a thing that happens. Human brains are weird like that. And so, yeah, I imagine, especially in something like art, where it's extremely subjective, right? This isn't like a math test where, the results are nearly undisputed, although technically you can still, because there's like reasoning a lot of times. But, it's not like, oh, sorry, you got the wrong answer, you failed, or, oh, you got the right answer, you passed, right? It's not like that. Art, there is a lot of subjectivity. So yeah, if a teacher thinks that, and again, this goes for like myself, for you, if you think another student is like doesn't care, you probably will judge them a little bit biased based on that. And you have to actively do things like hide the names, or like hide information from yourself to not influence. Like there's a lot of things that you can technically do that most people would never do in a real classroom setting. It's hard not to be biased, especially in something like that. There's a really cool book called is it Noise? By Daniel Kahneman. That kind of talks about this. It's basically the whole like premise of the book is basically that it's not about bias, it's about noise. But it's basically the sort of the catchphrase of the book is almost like anytime there is a human judgment, there will be noise and there will probably be bias. Like those things will creep in anytime humans make judgments. If it's a real judgment, there will be that noise. It will be variable. It's never going to be perfect. It could be the most like rigorous field that you think is, error proof. It will still have these things. If there's humans making judgments, even if the criteria are strict, there will be that noise and that bias. Bias we're pretty good at weeding out, but noise especially is going to be there. And yeah, it can affect stuff. I don't know. This is a big topic because it's like, yeah, if you were ever on the receiving end of like a teacher who thought you weren't a good student, and no matter what you did, you felt like you could never sort of do well, it might have just been like, yeah, it might have just been like a teacher sort of prejudging you or judging you based on things that weren't relevant. And it just making your life more difficult or holding you to unrealistic standards compared to your classmates. And yeah, I think it's an interesting topic. And definitely relevant in art. Probably more than a lot of fields, right? Because art is, again, very subjective. and like we're good at finding the bad stuff. You know, if you think someone is a beginner, you're going to look at their art and try to find mistakes that you would think a beginner would make. Whereas if you already think they're an expert, you're going to try to find the things that make them an expert. Like, oh, what are they doing that must be really good, right? You've probably experienced this actually, right? I think most people probably have, where you kind of don't know how to feel about something just by looking at it until you learn that, oh, this person's a professional working at Riot Games, and you're like, oh, now I know how to feel about this art, right? And like there's so many different ways you could judge something that until you learn who made it, it's like, and so now again, if you think about that in the context of like a student, who you think they are colors how you see it, right? Like we know it does. And I've felt it. I've felt where like I don't know really how to feel about something. Like do I find the things to appreciate about it based on the skill that this person may or may not have? And like, oh, they're actually really good at art. Okay, let's find the things that they're doing that are skillful, and let's ignore the stuff that I personally don't like, right? Because yeah, very motivated reasoning. I don't, yeah, maybe that's what you call it. I always thought of motivated reasoning in a slightly different context, but it definitely does. It's more just like there's a lot of subjectivity, and you need some ground. You need you need context, right? Because a lot of things, there isn't a good, there isn't a bad. It just is, right? Like the context matters. I'm not even, I don't even think it's motivated reasoning. I think it's the context genuinely matters, because there's social situations. There's, for example, if you look at art, right, out of context, how do you know what to think about it? What if the art looked like a child's painting? You might say, oh, a kid made it. That's really good for a 6-year-old. What if you found out somebody who's been working for a long time as an artist made it? You might think, what were they doing? What if you then found out that that person was trying to imitate a child's drawing for a movie set? You might think, oh, wow, they really nailed it, right? Suddenly it went from, oh, it's good for a kid, it's bad for an adult, but it's really good for an adult impersonating a kid, right? Like every time you add context, it changes. So I don't even think it's motivated reasoning. I think it's just adding context to like the motivations behind the art. Like why, what is it for? Who made it and why? What is it doing? What's the purpose of the art, right? That matters, because that's oftentimes the only way we know how to look at an image, you know? Again, this is the same way with speech. You know, just saying a string of words doesn't necessarily mean anything, but you put it in the right context and it can be hate speech, or you put it in a different context and it could be a very kind thing, right? You add a little bit of, you know, raising of the syllable and suddenly it's a sarcasm, right? Like it's just or raising of the pitch, and like who said it, under what circumstances, and why, that matters. And that is really biased thinking, of course. I mean, I don't know. Is it biased thinking? I mean, it is biased thinking, yeah. But I think in art, a lot of times that's the only way that we have to judge art, because art isn't judged purely on the art. It never has been, and it never will be. You always are guessing at, I mean, even with like movies, right? I mean, movies, we have this thing. We know that like the context of it being in a theaters, so we kind of know, you know, like the quality that we expect of it. Oh no, I mean what I said. Okay, I often look at someone's art and I'm kind of surprised that they suck at this one thing yet make it so good looking. Yeah, that too. But yeah, a lot of times yeah, it's tricky, because I remember back, I don't want to go on an AI rant here, but I might. I remember back when AI was coming out, people were like, you know, basically trying to make the argument that art is all about how good it looks in a vacuum, separate from who made it and the context it's made in, what it's for. If it's good, it's good. If it's bad, it's bad. And I always thought that was such a silly argument. Like, that's not the thing, right? And I always went to the example of like, well, if your child made a painting, you might hang it on the fridge and you'd cherish it. And yet, if I made that painting for you, you'd throw it in the trash because, like, it's not a good painting. But it is a good painting if you're proud of it, right? And who made it matters, right? If it was an AI making a painting that looked like a bunch of crap, then it's straight to the garbage. it doesn't matter if it's good or bad. Who made it does matter, and it always has mattered. And I think not, and I mean, there are some contexts in which I think we like to pretend it doesn't, and it probably doesn't in some contexts, right? Like purely as a product, does it, does it catch an eye? Does it catch your attention to sell a product or a book cover? Does it really matter who made it? No, we don't even know who made it, right? Does it do the job of selling products? Sure, why not? But I think for most art, if you see it, even on a book cover, right? If you see it separate from the book and you don't see it in the context of a book cover, you might just be like, I don't know what to think about it. Is it good art? Is it bad art? I don't know. I don't know who made it. I don't know what it's for. I don't know what the purpose is. I don't know how long they spent. Was it a sketch? Was it a study? Was it a product? If you don't know that stuff, you don't even know how to feel about it. And so it's almost it's almost like you could almost make a meme about this, like, oh, tell me how to feel about this art, and then I'll feel that way. Because I think in a lot of cases it's sort of true. And so, yeah, I don't know. I think it's just an interesting topic because there's sort of this idea that I mean, because we're all trying to get better at making art, right? Most of us. But yeah, anyway. Rant over. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Also, let's pick one of these thumbnails to work on. 1, 2, 3, or 4. Which one shall I work on? You be the judge. Also, I just realized I can't see chat. There might have been... okay. Nobody else said anything on YouTube. I'm trying to get worse, actually. I'm trying to get worse at art. Yeah, this is why I think when we define like good or bad to ourselves, it's more about intent. Like if my intent is to make art that looks like a child made it, I want to be better at making art that looks like a child made it. If my intent is to tell a story, I want to be better at storytelling, right? I want to be able to have control over the outcome of my art. It doesn't really matter to me. Like being good at art just doesn't mean making better art, right? I think that's the tricky thing. I think so many people try to judge the art based on the art, and you need to judge it based on the intent. This is why I'm so annoyed when AI bros are like, look at this art, it's so good. I'm like, no, it's not doing what you intended. It's not, you can't art direct it as well as you can actual art. And that matters. It matters if you're making a product or making a movie, right? If you have a goal and you can't achieve your goal, then it's not good art. Like it's, right? If you're an adult and you're hired to make a drawing for a movie that's supposed to look like a child's drawing, and you can't make it look like a child's drawing, it's bad art, right? Like you failed. If you can't direct it and tell the story that you want to tell exactly, you're not good at doing your job. Like that's right. So it's not about the art. It's about the goals and the intent and how you achieve it and the story that you can tell and the narrative and how well you can shape it. Anyway, that's a whole rant I could ramble about for days, but it always bugs me every time you see the shiny art and people are like, look what AI can do. It's so good. It's like, except it's not, because it's not doing the thing, right? Anyway. And sometimes it's hard to know, right? That's another thing. It's really hard to know what the person set out to do. Unless you ask. Elsie Art, hello, welcome Raiders. You're coming in right on time. As the Fey folk arrive, their allure compels you to dance. I'm dancing on the inside for this raid. Thank you so much for the raid. How's it going, Elsie? Welcome, Raiders. Thank you for being here. Thank you, thank you. Tubieris, Fikak the Fourth, Vegster, Birth of VNS, Yenari, I don't know how to say your name. Yani, Tarny Schlumpf, and Elsie Art, thanks for being here. Is it voting time? It is voting time. We are gonna vote. Here, let me slap a poll in chat. I'm not even gonna do a straw poll this time. I'm just gonna do a regular one. Yeah, if you guys would like to cast a vote for which painting I should work on till the end of stream, there is a drop-down menu at the top of chat now, and you can now vote. I will work on one of these till the end of stream. Yeah, we were playing some games earlier. Oh, ignore the time up thing. That's... Oh, yeah, we were playing a game earlier of this color picking game. It was pretty fun. Where we sort of, it's not really a competition, but there is a leaderboard. But basically it puts a color in front of you and then it takes it away, and then you have to use color sliders to match that color that you just saw. And it's quite a challenge. We were struggling a bit with it. But yeah, we could do that later too. I will do that later. You're welcome for being one of the simpler usernames. You, Tubi you do have a much more simple username. Vegastir does, and Elsie Art's pretty straightforward. But there's some of you looking at you, Yanny. Yeah, looking at you. There's a few out there that is a struggle. But nothing against people who have long, convoluted usernames. I mean, my name isn't even pronounceable. It's just Stiller, whatever that means. Just Vega? Yeah, no worries. Vega. It's a good name also. Nier reference? Ooh, I've never played Nier. Fikak. Is it Fikak? Fikak the Fourth. I'm gonna say Fikak. Fikak. I'm somewhat new to digital, so this is actually the best stream Elsie could have dropped me in. Yeah, so I will talk about how I paint digitally. But yeah, these are little quick thumbnails I did today, and then I will, and then I'm gonna work on. Oh, I just realized you can't see one of them. We've got a few more minutes. Looks like number 2 is winning the vote. I actually like number 3, I think. But it's not winning. That's how you pronounce it. Oh, Fikach. Fikach. I would have never guessed that. I can't use my language's extra alphabets for your user. Oh, gotcha. That makes sense. So which language is that? Is it Russian? Now I'm curious. Yeah, if I had... Oh, check. Okay. Gotcha. I'm really bad with different languages, so I apologize. That's cool. So anyway, Elsie, what were you working on? I want to know what Elsie was doing today. Art tax. Elsie, you probably have to raid and run. But, it's tax season. Pay it. Pay... Oh, I can't write. Hold on. Pay the art tax. I was working on cute stylized portraits. Oh, would you like to share? If you'd like to share, I'd love to see. I can pay the tax. Yes. Drop a link. Drop that link. Also, we are currently voting to which painting I'll work on until the end of stream. 2 and 3 are pretty close. They're neck and neck. Hello there, matey, once again. How's it going, Aquatic Marcus? Hope you're doing well. Hope the day is nice. Hope this wonderful Thursday. I think it's a pretty wonderful Thursday. I'm waiting on art tax. Arte. 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 Are we all taxpayers? Well, you can pay tax if you'd like. You don't have to. I'd like to see what everyone's working on, but no, this is mostly for Elsie. Nobody needs to share art. I just wanted to see what I like to show what the raiders who are coming in. That way. This is Elsie's art. Oh, these are so adorable. These are so... Okay, this one's not adorable. This one with the multiple eyes, that's terrifying. There's a... So, These are amazing, Elsie. Yeah, except this one. That one is cursed, but I like all of them. Joe just taxes you. Yeah, just Elsie has to pay the tax. Look at these. These are so cute. Every one of these, except this one. They're all so adorable. These are so good. There's this game. It kind of reminds me of the art a little bit in a game called Fields of Mystria. Do you guys know that? It's kind of like a Stardew Valley type game. I don't know why. Maybe it's the color palette. Maybe it's the way that you use the bold lines. I'm not exactly sure. Maybe I'm totally wrong and it's nothing like that game. But it reminds me a little bit of that. I don't know why, but maybe I think I like yours better. But these are so adorable. These top two, really all of them. Oh, I like that game. Never heard of it? Yeah, it's kind of like a Stardew Valley type game. In some ways, I think it has some mechanics and stuff that are more fun than Stardew, but obviously Stardew's kind of the GOAT. But yeah, no, these are great. I love these. Every one of these are super cool. So wait, what exactly were these? These were cute stylized portraits. Were these for like commissions or just for characters, or what exactly was it? Just for fun, funsies, a personal project? I want to know about this. What are we looking at? Also, which one won the vote? I just realized I don't know. Poll ended 1 minute ago. Yeah, well, which one won the vote? How do I check poll history? Wait, does anyone know which one won the vote? I can lie and say 3-1. It was 2. Okay. Yeah, I assumed it was, but I didn't see the end. Okay, we're gonna go with number 2 then. Okay, let me real quick like. Wait, did I share them on screen? Did I share Elsie's art on screen? Okay, I think I did, yeah. I thought for a second that maybe I did the wrong thing. Wait. Where did my art go? Hello? Where did my thumbnails go? Okay. Maybe I exited it. Let's just save a new file. Sorry, I'm micromanaging my files. Okay, now we can take thumbnail number 2. And yes, I'm going to work on this till the end of stream. We are going to take that one, grab it like this, copy, paste, delete those, and stretch. And also just stretch in general. It's good to stretch your wrists and all that, but that's not what I meant. Stretch the canvas. There we go. We're going to work on this. Ooh, we've got, is that some more art? Oh, phew, I don't know how to pay my taxes. All right. Well, I'm not going to share it on screen, but I will take a look. I love seeing what other people are up to. Oh my goodness. These are gorgeous. You've got some skills. Gorgeous work. Tubieris, wonderful, wonderful work. Super detailed stuff, too. And also some traditional work in here. I like it. Nice stuff. Very cool. Thank you for sharing. Okay, so digital painting, right? Somebody said they were new to digital painting. I do a lot of like mostly one layer painting. Technically, I use other layers, but I mostly paint. Like if I make a mistake, like do something like that, mostly I'll just paint directly over it. I don't really erase. I just, you know, I like to paint mostly one layer. I use a big chunky brush like this one. I can obviously adjust the size. If I paint lightly, I can do like an airbrush effect, or it can get some texture if I want. And yeah, pretty much use one brush, one layer. I'll do things like, you know, add in values, make dark things. I do a lot of like layering it up, kind of. Well, not literal layers, but like I will, you know, do like a foreground, midground, background kind of thing. So yeah, this is the thing I'm gonna work on. I don't exactly know where I want to take it. Like I could do like a big ol', like maybe it's like a stained glass window type thing here. And there's some cool shape, like a cat stained glass window in here. Like a, I don't know how to draw a cat, but I don't know. Maybe there's some stained glass window type thing. Could be fun. I always liked big stained glass windows. Is this a church? Yeah, it could be a church. Could be a church, cathedral in a weird part of town. Very strange, spiry, mountainous area. I'm not exactly sure what's going on here. We just kind of made some shapes and ran with it. I like to figure out what we're painting as we're painting it. That's a fun way for me to work. LC Art says, I never thought about it before, but is 2B because of 2B is your most used graphite pencil? Oh, that's actually really genius. I didn't... It's not even my most used, but it was a pun to be 2B, to be Aries. Okay, gotcha. So it's 2B because of the pencil and because of the pun. I like that. You got trained in traditional painting, so you're thinking of one layer painting, but I'm too anxious. Yeah, so I technically do make layers, as you can probably see over here. I will make new layers occasionally, but most of my new layers are strictly as like a safety net. So that if I do something that I don't like, let's say I want this color and I'm painting for a bit, and maybe I don't have any undos left, and maybe I get really ambitious, or maybe I want to add something like a big Bob Ross tree across my painting. I almost never go back, but there is a time where if I'm being too ambitious and I don't want to have to like let's say I was going to add something across this, right? I don't want to have to like, you know, I don't want to lose it typically. So I will do a safety net as a new layer so I can just delete the whole layer. Very rarely do I actually delete the layer. Maybe most paintings I never even ever go back to a previous layer. Mostly I work, you know, from big to small, and so if I do have to change something, it's small because it's never going to be the big thing that I worked on, right? So like if I'm adding, you know, stuff around here and I make a weird mistake, I'll just paint over it. I just treat it like it didn't happen. So yeah. That's kind of how I use layers, just as a safety net. They're just like, they're for my peace of mind. I don't know if I actually use them. In fact, there have been times where I will think that I'm making new layers, but for whatever reason I wasn't. And I will have been working for literal hours on actually one layer. And it never affects me. It only affects me when I find out I've been on one layer the whole time. And then it's like this state of panic, like, oh my gosh, what if something went wrong? But the reality is I almost never go back. So. But that's not to say that my choices are correct or that I don't regret them. I do constantly, you know, I might do something like that and repaint it or go in and unpaint what I just repainted. And so I do a lot of like painting over kind of. I think of like doing like paint overs of my own work. But yeah, this could be a church. It could be a cathedral. I do kind of like some sort of, you know, maybe there's some thing going here. Nothing like a cozy Steeler stream when I get home. You want to know something that's not cozy? You guys want to play a game? I think it's cozy. So there's a color game. I can show you guys. If you guys want to play, I challenge you. It's not really Oop, that's not the right screen. There's a color game here. We can play it together if you'd like.
Multiplayer.
ignore the loud noises.
Link copied.
I can show you. I typically want to wait, though. If you guys don't know what this is, maybe I could show you first. But I'm a little hesitant to show you before we... Well, I can show you... Here, actually, I have a better way. I'm going to do
single player.
I'll show you guys single player before, if anybody wants to join. So you have to guess these colors. So this is like a brownish, reddish color. And then you basically have to remake the color that you think you saw. And so, like, maybe you want it to be this color, and you're like, this is about right. And so you guess, and you're like, it was okay, right? That was an okay guess. And if you guys want to play, we could play this game. And then it does like a ready, set, go. And then it says, okay, it's this color. And you have 5 seconds to look. It's like a purple, a pinkish, desaturated pinky purple. Desaturated pinky purple. Like that. Probably too light. It doesn't work in Firefox, by the way, at least for you. Ooh, I was not pink enough. Okay, that was a bad guess. But anyway, if you guys want to, we can do multiplayer. This is like a purpley... Ooh, is it purple? Yeah, it's purple. It's a purple... Oh, I was not dark enough. What the heck? How's that score high? It's so different. I guess I was just darker? It works for you? Okay. Oh, this is red. Isn't this just red? Just saturated red? Red is slightly orange, maybe? Yeah, we'll go at the top there. I mean, it's just red, right? That's just a red. I don't know. What do you call this color other than just red? This is as red as you can get. That was like a perfect score. Okay, blue. It's slightly desaturated though, and it leans towards blue and not purple. I always struggle with the brightness. Yeah, that wasn't good. That was hard. Anyway, was that the last one? Okay, so I got like in the 40s. At least I didn't totally fail. I don't know what... That red guess, though, was spot on, I feel like. Okay, but yeah, so if you guys want to try...
Multiplayer.
We can... I'll copy the link. I'll put it in chat. I'll let you guys do it first. I'll give you like 10 minutes or so to get your scores in there. There is a thing, if you guys would like to play. I will do that one. I haven't done it yet, but I will do it in about... in a bit. I'll pin it to chat for, I don't know, 5-10 minutes. Actually, I'll just pin it for 20. So yeah, if anybody wants to try that game and see how well they do, and there will be like a little leaderboard. It's not a competition. It's just fun to kind of see how you stack up and sort of, test your color eye, although it's, context missing and stuff. But, with the new people coming in from Elsie's stream, if anybody, I don't know if you guys have seen it before, but we did some rounds earlier and it's been pretty fun. I gotta always really lock in for it because I take things like that way too seriously. It's completely insignificant, but it is fun to like try that stuff. I don't know. I find that stuff super fun. I might make it a color redeem or like a point redeem at some point. Do I want to make this tower more tall? I don't know. This makes me wonder, when you paint, do you literally think of something like this spot here needs to be much brighter and ever so slightly more? No. I don't paint like this is why I say the only reason, so any skill that I might have that would transfer to that game comes, in my opinion, would come from the fact that I do pay attention when I'm painting to the color that results. But I'm not picking a color accurately based on what I need it to be. So I'm not doing the like I'm doing it backwards, right? And so if I have a color, let's say it's just a random color, and then I mix that random color with this blue, I might take note of where I am in the color wheel when I'm looking at this new bluish color that I have. Now, this is not the color that I just picked, right? I picked the green and I mixed it with the blue. So I didn't know that, like, oh, I wanted this green, this greenish bluish color. But to me, this greenish bluish color, I look at the color wheel and I kind of see where I'm situated, and I kind of make a mental note of like the hue, the value, saturation, right? And so I'm not actively like picking the perfect color, but I do look at the color wheel a lot, so there is some pattern recognition. And I have the vocab to like hopefully think about color and sort of, you know, hue, value, saturation type thing. But no, I do not think, oh, I want a dark blue mid-value that is, you know, kind of desaturated, and then I put the perfect color down. I don't do that, right? This is one thing that's always like not rubbed me the wrong way, but kind of bugged me a little bit when I see some people do color studies. They're basically trying to take a photo and pick the right color in the right spot, but there's like tons of gradients, and like that's not typically how people paint, right? People don't typically think like, I want this color exactly, and then they put it down, right? I guess if you're doing like you know, mixing paint, it's nice to know kind of what color you're going to use. But even then, it's still relative to the color you put down a lot of times, right? Like, you'll put down a thing, and like, oh, if this is my light, and you know that your light is bright, then you know that, like, you know, maybe your shadow color will be, you know, cooler and darker, and you'll mix colors in that are going to be, you know, darker than that. And so you'll kind of know that, like, if you want to put this color down, it's more about relative to the color you already have, and not about this sort of absolute color. And I just, yeah, I don't know. I think there's this idea that I mean, maybe some artists do that, but I never have. I haven't done a lot of studies where I'm trying to be accurate in my color picking. I've never practiced that skill. Any sort of color picking skill or knowledge that I do have almost entirely comes from just paying attention to the color wheel as I'm painting. And it's sort of pattern recognition, if that makes sense. So it's like it reminds me a little bit of like chess players who just play a lot of chess and study chess. And then they sort of have this other skill develop as like playing blindfolded. I feel like that's kind of the equivalent. Not many chess players are actively going out of their way to learn how to become better blindfold players. They just kind of get good at it by practicing learning how to like think about chess annotation and study positions, and like, you know. So I think a lot of artists, if you pay attention to your color choices, you'll sort of just develop like the vocab for it, the eye for it a little bit. I don't think I'm great at it. It's definitely a skill I could improve at. But yeah, that's kind of how I think about it anyway. I'll have to go to sleep, but I wish you a wonderful rest of the stream. That game seemed very fun indeed. Yeah, I think it's a fun game. I think it's neat to show where your sort of, I want to use the word bias, but like shows where your color biases are. Like sometimes certain reds you're gonna make too saturated, or you're too dark when it's actually much lighter, or you're making a color much lighter when it's actually much darker. And if you're constantly missing the mark in the same direction, you can kind of recalibrate a little bit and be like, oh, this is a blue-green. I need to make it a little darker than I think it is because I keep being too light, right? And you can kind of train yourself a little bit in that way. I don't know. It doesn't really have good application for art, though. Like, I don't really know how it relates. I'm always a little skeptical when, like, people try to train that specific skill thinking it's gonna matter for art. I just don't know when I would ever use that skill. There might be a point, though, where, like, if you're doing, like, color correcting, and you learn some theory on how to make choices in color correcting. Also, this is kind of a cool gate thingy. Maybe we'll just keep making it a gate. Oops. But anyway, yeah, if anybody wants to do the thing, it's still pinned to the top. I'm going to do it in just a moment, but I want to let everybody have a chance first. That way I'm not showing the results of the shared color challenge before you guys get to do it. Otherwise, it's like, I don't know, just doesn't feel very fair. Okay. I am gonna move. I know I said that I like to repaint things a lot, but I'm gonna move some of the stuff here. Kind of like that. Trying to make some funky little top parts here. Maybe there's like a... or we could go like that. Do we go gothic here? Give me Dracula vibes? Yeah, it's a little bit gothic. Gothic typically has a little bit more spires. So maybe we do that. Could do that. This is kind of a fun little castle thingy back here, too. This one's very tall, though. Which almost screams focal point in a way. But yeah, like right here, for example, if I pick a color and I notice it's very bright, sometimes I will glance over here at the color wheel. That one in the back could have a bridge to another point. True. It could, yeah. It could have some sort of bridge. As long as these spires, if I make these spires look like rock, also I'm kind of thinking a little bit of like overgrown would be kind of fun. Oh, what I just did there is another good example of the color picking thing that I do, where like sometimes I'll pick a color and I'll say this color doesn't look quite green enough. And so I will make it a little more saturated to make it look more green if I need to brighten it up or something. Or I will shift it towards the green. And in doing so, I am, like, getting a sense of the color, of the new color that I'm picking. And so there is a little bit of, like, color adjusting going on. For example, it's not bright enough back here, so I want to brighten it up. It's Castlevania type beat. Yeah, a little bit. A little bit overgrown. Little spire here. I don't know if I like it. Just something to like have a little bit of geometry in here. Maybe I'm colorblind. I feel like James Green does it kind of like that. Played color game. Apparently, Blue and I are not friends. 2B Aries, that's funny. Okay, I'm gonna do it now. I'm gonna play the game now and see how I do. That's not the right window. Color game. There we go. Start playing. Let's see how I do. Ready, set, go. It's an orangish light, very light color. It's orange, it's peach, so a desaturated orange. It's probably more. Nope. It's more orange than that, right? That. Not well, not as high as I'd like. It looks pretty similar, but there's some more orange. Well, that's a very blue. That's a very blue. Not super saturated. Very blue, not super saturated. It's pretty light, but it's less saturated. So it's light, but not saturated. That? Oh, it's more purple. I didn't realize how purple that is. Okay, that. It feels, dang, I feel like I got super close, but it's not because it's purple and I got the wrong hue. A dark brown red. It's dark red gray. It's a tough one. A dark red gray. That maybe? The exact hue is really hard to tell. I mean, I don't know anymore. I've lost it. I mean, I don't know. It's just a dark red gray. Like, what more do you want? a red, but it's very maroony, so it's a little darker. A darker maroon. Wait. Is that right? I don't think this is right. Oh god, I was... Okay, that was bad. Oh no. Oh no. What have I done? I threw it. I threw the game. It's a blue periwinkle-ish, but no, it's a blue, light gray blue. A blue... It's a little purple though, right? It's a little purple. I feel like we already had that color. Yeah, blues are hard. I think that. Just lock it in. Well, that was a good one. I just went with vibes on that one. Third. Pepperly, you're killing it. Pepperly has consistently been in the top here. Yeah, that's we got a few people participating. But no, this is fun. I've always enjoyed these. I think it's a fun challenge to see kind of like where you go wrong. Like my red was awful. That was a terrible red guess for me. In fact, I might, you know, but like if Schmuckles was really good. Yeah, my red guess wasn't good. I kind of forgot. Sometimes I like brain fart and I don't know. I seem like I do a pretty okay job on some of them, but I think that's just variance. So anyway. Good job, everybody. We'll probably do that more. Probably not anymore today, though. I'm kind of tired of it. But it is fun. It could be a fun color challenge. It's a fun little thing to kind of test yourself on. To remind yourself that, like, maybe you can pay attention to colors and, I don't know. Sort of like a party trick. Doesn't really mean anything. You need to turn off the... Is it better without the white background? I think I had to take a moment to recalibrate. Okay, I'll try it once more. I'll try it in solo player. How do I turn off the white background?
Single player.
Oh, a very saturated purple. I was too focused on... I was too focused on... Oh, that's good. Off by a pixel. Can I... So... Oh, that does probably make a difference. Let's see. Another purple, not as saturated, but it's a little darker. So not as saturated, a little darker. Go there. Ooh, that wasn't that good. Apparently it was. I think dark mode's better. This one's hard. This is a yellow, oh gosh, what is it? Like a yellow green olive? Like a yellowy color? Like that? No. Kinda. I feel like here, these colors don't look like it's very good. Okay, I do think the dark mode's better. Very saturated cyan, all basically just cranked up cyan, but a little more on the green side. So cyan, a little on the green side, cranked up. Maybe not quite that high. That's just pure red with a tinge of pink. Pure red. Tinge of pink. I wish value was way more scaled because value is so important. Yeah. Yeah, you can be way off on value and still get a high score. Better than 98%. That might have been my best game yet. That was okay. Yeah, no, though, yeah. Having a white background definitely makes it harder. I think this makes it easier. For sure. Yeah, value is a big deal. Especially for those dark colors. Having a dark background also makes it a lot more, like, finicky. You can tell a lot more when it's a dark color exactly where it is. So, like, these first two. In fact, you know what's funny? I wonder if you were really good, so not me, but if you were really good, you could probably toggle it mid-color depending on if it's a light color or a dark color. Right? Because if it's a light color and you make it dark, it's going to blow out that value for you and everything's going to look bright. And so making it bright relative, right? Because you can see how my dark colors, they were the most accurate. And then you get the light colors and then I started wavering, right? Well, relatively wavering, right? I wonder if dark colors for me are more accurate because I'm on dark mode, whereas if I'm in light mode. So I want to try it again. I don't know if I'm going to have the skill to do this.
Single player.
But if I go here and I very quickly say, oh, it's light, let's go light color. So now we'll get a light green, like a light, dull green. But like kind of like this, right? So it's muted. Right? So if I do something like this, maybe... Okay, never mind. Theory is blown out of the water. I just failed that color. But then my thought was like, oh, if it's a dark color... Oh, see, it's another light color. I can keep it light. See, I don't know if going dark helps. I'm just clicking it. I'm speed running. Okay, that was bad. I mean, that wasn't bad. Dark. Brown. I don't know why I'm still playing this game. It's a dark brown. I'm having fun with it, though. I feel like it's more red, right? Oof. Yeah, see, like this I shouldn't get a high score because the value's so wrong. Like, the value is way off, and yet it's telling me... Ooh, right? This is telling me that it's a good score, and that's just not true. So yeah, value is not weighted heavily. It's a green. It's a... I don't even know what color of green. I think fiddling with value halfway through ruined me, though. Color, temperature matter. Well, yeah, I mean, I think the hue matters more. So where you are in the... So, for example, if this is like a purpley color, so like where you are in here matters more, right? So like, are we higher up here or are we more down here? So yeah, this slider, this first one, matters the most, I think. I've forgotten what the color is. I don't remember. I actually have no idea what the... I don't even know. I don't think this is right. I feel like we were more saturated. I don't know. Okay, that was my best guess so far. Okay, anyway. But yeah, no, this is... we could do more of this in like the multiplayer version of this later, but anyway, that's... Yeah, I do think being able to toggle this, in theory, could be good, to toggle light and dark, just to get a better sense of it. But it didn't help me that round. In fact, the one round that I did that, I got the worst. The worst score of all of it, but I think with some practice, toggling it would be a useful thing to kind of just force yourself to see comparatively where you are. But yeah, I totally agree. I agree, Liam Quinn. I wish value were more important there. Which is hard because in some colors, now that I'm thinking about it, in some colors, value is not... No, value is always important. Yeah, you're right. Just for like general look and vibe of a color, value is super important. Whereas hue is not that important. I've used some examples today. I've gone back and forth. With like the greens are a good example. If you go full saturation, you can have anything ranging from almost a blue-green to almost a yellow-green, and they look identical, right? But the second you take one of these colors, I'm going to color pick this one. So here, I'll make 2 circles. If I color pick this circle, and I drop the value, or just like lower the color down, you can much more see what color it is. And then if I take this one and I drop the value, well, actually these still look pretty similar. But this one's decidedly more blue and this one's decidedly more green. But even if I go up here, maybe that was not the greatest example. You can, the colors start to deviate a little more, where you can start to see more like cool, medium, warm. And up here, they're like just neon. But like you would never call these two colors the same, right? Like these two colors are not the same, and yet I think score-wise they would be because they're the same hue. All I did was change the well, technically I changed hue and value, or I changed value and saturation. But like you would think that these two colors would be more similar, right? That should get you more points than this, but I'm pretty sure this one would get you more points because it's they're the same value, or they're the same hue, whereas these are different hues, but they're same value. So it's kind of weird. Color's strange. I don't know. It's a fun little thing to try. I like it. I'm glad whoever linked it, I forget, but thank you for linking that game. It's a fun little thing. Let's add some form here. Some little forms up top to make sure these things look more rectangular. Just to show them in perspective a bit. One thing I should do is I should have made this more exaggerated. In fact, I might still do that. Maybe it's too close to the end of stream to do like a 3-point perspective thing. I think it would just affect the mood of the whole painting more if I were to add some 3-point perspective to this. To make these spires really, really look like they're tall. This one can go off the page. Trying to add some more little lines back here to imply this stuff is far away, but also that it still has form. Sorry, I had to dip for a bit. What convo did I miss since the poll? Oh, we did. So we did a few more of those color game, and I was playing around with a toggling light and dark mode during the game itself. I decided that dark mode is definitely superior. Light mode is just too bright. And it's not neutral enough. But I did have a theory of toggling light and dark mid-game, so that if you have a light color, you toggle it to light, so you can see how close it is to light. Because if you have a light background and it's a dark color, everything looks black. Or if it's a light color and you have a dark background, everything looks bright, right? So I think you want to be closer to the dark mode, or closer to the value of the color that you're looking at. So like if it's a light color, be in light mode. If it's a dark color, be in dark mode. Because the extreme value is going to make it seem more exaggerated. So if you have like a dark, it's kind of like if someone shines a light and you're in a dark room, that light is going to be like, oh, it's overwhelming, right? But like, no, it might not have been that intense. Your brain is saying it's intense because it's against a dark background. And so trying to raise or lower that value of the background could be helpful. So I played around with that a little bit. I didn't have a great effect, but I still think it was just because skill issue, but not because of like I did one dark mode and I just got a much better score than all my others. It was my best yet, I think. And then I did one with mixed dark and light, and I had a couple bad guesses, but I think in theory it could be good, but I'd have to practice and get better at it, because I was still fumbling with the things, and like I was forgetting what color I was looking at because I was so preoccupied with toggling the thing. But yeah, it's interesting. So yeah, you didn't really miss much. Nothing that we hadn't really talked about earlier. I don't like the actual structure here. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good, and by feel I mean it doesn't look good. It just looks bad. This is where references come in, and I should be using them. Okay, you know what? I am going to do the thing I said. Stop being lazy, me. I'm going to copy this, and then I'm going to perspective it. Can't transform. Okay, perspective it now. Perspective transform, a little bit tilted, angled. There. Just to push it a little bit more into the 3-point. That might not be good. I might have ruined it. That might not be good. But yeah, if our eyeline is down here, these should be extreme. I mean, they could be over here, but still pretty extreme. I don't know. I don't know if I like that idea. Maybe we could do another layer up here. Nope, not that one. Maybe transform the sides separately? Yeah, probably. Front and side? Yeah, I think that would be smart. I'm not even sure where my 3-point perspective's going. I just wanted to give it a little bit of a tilt. I also don't know what's going on over here. I think that's a big deal, a big thing. Like, I should probably put a back, like... And then I still want overlapping shapes here so that it's... That's not bad. We can do some form. I still want to paint on this, right? I want to paint the on here. And make some of these shapes and design it a little bit. But yeah, I'm not exactly sure what I'm doing with the sides here. Which isn't bad. Yeah, I don't think it's terrible. Something's fishy with it. I don't know. I feel like I'm eyeballing perspective and I'm failing. Maybe we'll chop off the top for now until I can get some of the forms down. That's kind of a fun shape. It's a little bit weird, but it's not bad. It feels more intentional now, at least. Which is good. Intentionality seems useful. A little bit of a light edge here. Could be good. Little three layers there. It's not bad. It's kind of fun. Maybe we push the middle one a little brighter. A little more saturated. Nope. Less saturated. There. Just to give it that illusion of brightness. That's another thing that's kind of relevant to that game that we were just playing. What I just did right there, right? Where, like, I knew the effect that I wanted. Right? I knew that I wanted it to feel brighter. But making the saturation brighter, it actually made it feel less bright. And so I kind of like, okay, that feels bright, therefore probably less saturated. Or something. Relative to what I already had. I don't know how that affects what we were doing. Some sort of stained glass window type thing up there with lights poking through. Now, the question is, what do I do about this other side? Do we do like a beacon and do a bunch of layers? Also, this is a weird separate thing. See, now I don't like that it's so tilted. That's annoying me. Maybe there's like a separate spot over here. A little bit of a brutalist architecture. Commissar Skull would be proud of me. Painting some brutalism. If he's live when we end, we're gonna go over there. Because anytime we're painting something relevant to the conversation and there's somebody we can raid, I like to go in and yeah, I like to go in there. But I don't know, I don't think he'll be live. Probably. He typically ends before I do. But yeah, maybe there's some greenery, weird neon green colors in here, which is kind of fun. A little darker in the foreground because it's... well, it's the foreground. I like this. Yeah, don't know about the... oh, actually, I do know. Here, this will be fun. What if we do... what if we do this? With the road coming this way. Oh, posture check, thank you. Thank you, Zumux, for the posture check redeem. What if we do a road like this, where this road is like that, leading into this thing, and so you have these, like, these pillars on the side, guiding in. Feels very, like, official. Now this probably should be... so maybe there's like some characters on the road. Two little characters chilling on the road. They aren't very visible though. Wait. And also they weren't very on the road. And maybe there's catching some light. Oh, classic staff. They've got a little staff character. And of course the staff's catching some light. There. They're not much, but they're something. But yeah, I'm enjoying this. I like this painting. It's this type of painting is very much in my wheelhouse. I like this sort of, this kind of, you know, ruins. Yeah, I like this stuff. It's a lot of fun. Also, very limited color palette, right? It has a lot of the recipes of things. Not the recipe, that's not the right word, but it has a lot of the characteristics of stuff that I enjoy. Do we want this foreground like this? I mean, I think we do. Adding little bits of detail back here. Not much, though. Just a smidge. I think what I want to do is... There's this artist named... I don't know his name. He's Korean. Yuche Soul? No, I don't know what his name is. I'm not even gonna try. He goes by Paper Blue online. Paperblue.net is Paperblue.net is his screen name. I really like his art. He's great, and he does this thing with scale just so well, where he'll make these megalithic structures, but then he'll put like little windows and little things in it for you to realize just how big it is. So he'll add lots of little markings and little like lines that kind of indicate a much bigger structure than the one that you're looking at, and it's really, really cool. It kind of does this. It has this really neat effect, and of course they also help to sort of ground you in, like, well, both in scale but also in perspective, because he'll use those lines very strategically. He's not just putting them willy-nilly like I am. He's very intentionally putting them in there, and I think that's really neat. I can show you guys some of his art to show what I'm talking about with scale and buildings. He does a lot of mechs too, which I'm not a big fan of. But let me show you guys. Oh, not that. Instagram is a good spot to go to for this. Also, let's put this back on screen. But yeah, let me show you this guy's art, because he does a really good sense of scale. Search. Paper Blue. Park J. Chol. I was not close at all. So this guy, he does some architecture and mechs, but if you go down to like this stuff, he does a really, really good job of indicating with all these like chicken scratchy lines. It's just the scale. He always has massive scale, and you can start. I mean, maybe this is a little blurry. It's a little blurry. But even something like this, just like the little windows and stuff in here, I just love this stuff. And just the amount of, like, it's not super detailed, but if you look in the back, there's just like the little dark spots to show windows, the scaffolding that he adds. I'm trying to find some. Gosh, he does a lot of mechs. I'm not a big mech fan. But even something like this, which is like a boat, right? He has all these little, like, tiny little dark shapes to just show you how massive this thing is. Little tiny bits of like little dark lines, all these little crisscrossy patterns, and just sketching out little implied details in there, little highlights to show all the panes of glass, and every little highlight makes you think it's going to be like, oh, there's a window. And I don't know, I just think he does a really good job at that stuff. I like mechs, but those are Gundams. I don't know what they are. Mechs, Gundams, what's the difference? I'm not a mech or Gundam person. I don't even really look at that stuff that he posts. Is that on Canvas? I don't think so. I think he does it digitally. I think he's using a canvas texture. I mean, that one that I showed might have been. It's possible that the one I just showed was... Oh yeah, oil on canvas. Yeah, that is on canvas. It literally says on canvas. So I'm going to assume this one is on canvas. Yeah. But I know he does a lot of his stuff traditional or digitally. This is probably on paper. Yeah, that's pencil on paper. These are on canvas. Maybe he does a lot of these on canvas too. Yeah, this is pencil and Procreate. Pencil sketch plus Procreate. So I think he maybe did the sketch on pencil and scans it. I don't know. Gundams. Anyway. He has a lot of stuff, but it's a lot of cool stuff. And I've always really liked him. He is good. He has a lot of really good stuff. I do approve. Someday. Someday I will steal his skills. Little shapes in here. Oh, that shape should be more this shape. I like there's a thing instant follow for you. Yeah. There's a thing that I've been doing instead of making the full arch, right? I just do like the one side, just the side that you're going to see the shadow on, and then the light side I just kind of let it taper out and maybe even add like a light line, but I don't really need to show the whole thing because your brain's pretty good at understanding that if you see this side of the arch, you can kind of connect the dots. And so I'll do something like this, where it's like I just start to paint it, and then I leave the rest. I don't know. It's been kind of a thing that I've been trying, sort of like implying detail, and I quite liked it. Rather than trying to draw every shape. Because I've noticed, like, especially with, like, even with characters, right? There's this desire to draw, like, both eyes in full. And a lot of times you see even like the really good, you know, traditional painters of ye old times, right? They'll do like a smudge for one of the eyes, and then the other one is more painted. And between the two of them, it has all the info, but neither one is doing all the work. And I feel like that happens a lot in environments as well, where like you only see part of the curve of a side, and then somewhere else you see another part, and you can kind of understand what the form is when you combine them together, right? You're like, okay, I understand. You don't always see, you know, you might just see like the corners of a building, you know, but you don't see this corner. But maybe you do see that corner, you know, up here. You know, maybe you see a corner here, and so you know these buildings have that pointy spot, but you don't need to see it right here to know, right? This one, all you see is, you know, these two corners, and you can kind of connect the dots that there's probably a corner here, but there's enough corners on buildings there that you can probably understand that these are all square buildings, right? This one has it, you know, this one has it probably, you know, this one probably has it too, and maybe this one, you know, maybe we add a little bit of light here so that now this one does have a corner, right? But you don't need to draw every corner of every building in full detail. I mean, it's kind of that implied detail, which is really, it's really interesting, and he does a good job at that. It's something that I want to get better at. I think it's a common thing that people, I want to say young artists, and I'm kind of including myself in that because I still do it, but I'm not really a young artist. But you know, artists will like over render everything. Joe, I was gone for a while, but now I'm back and it's looking nice. Thanks. I'm happy you like it. I'm happy with it. We're rambling. Really interesting structure. Thanks. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. I don't know about the main structure. I don't really like that one, but some of these other small structures are fun. Trying to add little bits of darkness in here, just kind of sort of peppering it in. Peppering in the darkness. Little bits of green, little bits different color. Just for fun. There, some little structures in here. Some of these more orangey colors, making a little path. Takes a lot of experience to arrive at a good image without over-rendering. Yeah, I think so too. It's definitely something. I'm a pepper, says Pepperly. Pepperly, you are a pepper. Or are you just Pepperly? Like, you're like Pepper. Isn't that what L-Y does. Like if you're I'm trying to think of an example. Doesn't ly imply you're like something? Like you're no, I guess that's what ish is, like smallish. No, maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. Oh, wait, wait, what's happening? Oh, a sub! KK Mousy! Thank you so much for the sub. KK Mousy, I really, really appreciate it. Also, I've dropped some frames today. Hopefully I haven't been too laggy. But 3 months, thank you for the sub with the Prime. I very much appreciate it. For those Bezos bucks, as Casey says, I think. Yeah, everybody does have Primes. If you have the Amazon Prime, it is free, which is always nice. I haven't had Amazon Prime in a long time, but I need to, when I do, I need to make sure I remember to use it because, yeah. Not necessarily experience, but knowing to direct your focus. True. Yeah, I forgot about. Yeah, it's super easy. I've definitely probably forgot most of my primes that I've had, and I'm also a streamer, so you would think I would remember, but it's easy to forget. But I appreciate it. Thank you very much. You're a pepper. Gotcha. Yeah, it is hard to. I think for me, it's not even about difficulty. It's more that it's remembering to add in. I guess the difficulty comes in the variety, right? I think there's a lots of ways to show something, and we've done lots of them, right? You can use lines, you can use certain shapes, and we have this tendency to like, oh, I used the full window here. Let me also make the full window here, or I used, you know, a light here, right? If there's a light, let's say there was a light shining on this, which I still could put a light. But if I put a light here, and let's say there was a light on this window just on the outside like this, right? There would be this tendency for me to also draw this one the same. When that isn't, you don't need to show the same details on the same side. This one might show with a shadow, right? Maybe it's on the other side, or maybe this one has the full dark shape, right? Maybe it's like that. Whereas this one only has, you know, the light. I'm not saying the light is good. In fact, the light here feels pretty bad. But I guess the point is there's like a variety of different ways to show things. And it's easy that like if one thing works, you want to just keep doing it. And then that ends up adding that repetition that can end up looking overly stiff and stale and not great. And it's a hard thing to remember. I mean, even like clouds, right? Here's a good example. It's like if I wanted to put a cloud here, you might have a tendency, oh, what if I put a bright cloud? Okay, great. Maybe the bright cloud works. And then every cloud you make is bright. But no, what about the dark shape? And what if you put a dark shape here? And what if this cloud over here was only dark, right? Maybe you just have some dark clouds because they could be in shadow, or the underside of clouds, right? And there's this tendency to make every cloud the same because one cloud worked. Let's make all of the clouds the same, you know? And then suddenly there's a repetition, and then it's like, oh, everything's rendered the same. And so it is hard to break that. It feels more just like variety, like, because we all know this. I mean, this is something that, you know, I've rambled about. Again, it's not great in this image because this entire image has it's dark against light, right? You have dark silhouette, light background, right? And back here, it's lighter, but it's still dark silhouette against light background. If I had a strong light source, it might make sense to make this one in light, for example. Maybe this one's in light, and we have a light, you know, this is half light, half dark back here. But maybe back here, there's another one that is purely, the only thing we see is the light, right? So now we have 3 different ways of showing the same object, right? We have, now I'm not saying this is good. In fact, it's very much not good. But now we would have, right, dark against light. We have mixed dark and light against light, and then we have light against, well, technically dark, right? Because it's lighter than the background. And so here is an example where you'd have all 3 different ways of showing a thing. It's the same, more or less the same object, but 3 different ways of showing it. Again, not claiming that that's good in this image, but it does make for interesting variety of colors and shapes, and you know, even something like this where you get a little bit of light back here would be probably go a long way. You know, just having some subtle bits of light. I don't know. I'm not sure if that's the way I want to take it. But yeah, even just light against dark silhouettes can be tiring and a little bit overdone. That's not to say that every painting has to do everything, right? Ooh, there's a little bit of a path going up here. That'd be fun. Little bit of some stairs up here. I thought that looked like snow. It does kind of look like snow. No, I think these are just stairs. And by I think, I mean I've decided that that's the direction I want to go. Sometimes when I say that, like, oh, I think these are stairs, it's like, how would you not know? Like, aren't you the one painting it? Well, yes, but I just wanted stairs there, and I was making them out of a value that happened to look kind of like snow, but I didn't really want it to be snow. And so now I need to push it in a direction to make it look more like the thing that I want. Because I just decided that I don't want it to look like snow. So I'm gonna, but I do like those patterns of light and dark. Also, I'm kind of this almost reads as like a secondary focal point. It's almost cooler than this other one. I'm trying to bring some of these types of shapes into here. I feel like the architecture style is different for this main object. It's just kind of weird. Because these all have rounded tops. There, that's better. What else do we do? Maybe some of the shapes back here are not great. Again, very, very light. Trying to actually get, like, you know, here maybe we put like the three lines that this one has. Also, maybe this one has like an arch. Be kind of fun. To show that it's taller. I don't just want to make it the exact same structure. Because if it's the same shape, it's gonna look too big, right? It's gonna ruin the scale. But if I put more little spires back here, maybe it does imply that it's bigger. Just very epic fantasy vibes. We're going crazy with the scale back here. Probably not ideal. I feel like that's kind of, it makes things a little cheaper, I think, in some ways. To have this, like, the biggest stuff in the background just massive all the time. But some of these are pretty big, right? We have some big shapes up here, too. I've talked about that before, but there's a lot of times there's this tendency when you're drawing environments to layer things big to small, like big in the background, because you need, right, if you're making shapes, right, you can't put a small object behind a big object, right? Then you can't see it, right? So you have, there's this tendency to layer things like this, right? You layer them in reverse perspective, basically, so that you can have a graphical read of it, right? Because that's how you're gonna see, that's how you layer things, right? You can't put a bigger object physically behind a smaller object. But the problem is that this gives the reverse illusion of perspective, because good perspective would look like this, right? You'd have, you know, like a medium object here and a small object here, and these things, right? These are layered from big in the front to small in the background. But if you're looking to layer stuff, like a city, for example, where you have buildings in the foreground and small stuff in the back, there's this tendency to make these things bigger than they would be if they were the same building. Like, instead of making the same size building, but just smaller, you're making these like super crazy shapes because they're small shapes, and then suddenly it gives a scale that is like it's a behemoth. So every building becomes more and more mega scale as you go back, and that's like reverse perspective, and it's hard not to do that. At least I find it is. It's like I have to constantly fight. So I could try and make this shape more similar. But again, if it is similar to this, it's gonna be massive. Maybe we go like that though. Nope. Also, speaking of variety, another thing that I sometimes forget to think about, but now I'm thinking about it, is where you put details. Like, do I put details on just one face of this, or do I put them on all the faces? And I think it can be easy to forget that, like, your buildings don't have to all be symmetrical, but also don't only worry about one side. Try to make all of the sides interesting. I don't know. It can be tricky. But I like this. Maybe, yeah, maybe we do like a bridge or something over here. I know somebody said something like a bridge. Or even if it's not a bridge, it could be like a castle thingy. That. I don't like that there's no lighting in back here. I'm not a big fan of this just like ambient light. It gets a little bit meh. It's a little boring. Okay, I'm pretty happy with this though overall. The lighting is kind of not my favorite thing. I'm also not totally... I don't like how much brightness there is. Like, I feel like if I were to crop it, it's just better. I know it's weird to have a thing like this cropped. Doesn't this just feel better? So the reason I think this crop is better is because this one has such... So this is obviously the interesting stuff, like all of this, but there's so much blue, right? It's so bright that it kind of is killing the vibe, right? Like it's like you're in a scary movie and then they show the monster too long, you know? And then it kind of ruins the scariness of it because or the scene is too is too exposed and it kills the mood, because it's like, okay, now we've seen everything and there's no mystery. Or like in this sense, you know, it's like a darker, gloomier environment, but we have this giant bright light that's like, look how nice it is outside, you know? Like, look how pleasant the scenery is. And you're like, wait, this is supposed to be a grungy, gothic-looking city, and yet you're showing us the full scene. And I feel like that, in a composition sense, just doesn't feel good. I don't know. What do you guys think? This or cropped version with this covered up? Obviously, because we don't want the focal point, right? Like, you can't have the bright thing up here. Right, I don't think we can have the bright thing up here. If we're going to crop it, it's too close to the edge. But this is just better, right? It focuses in, it hones it in a bit. You like the uncropped one with the windows more. Well, you're wrong. No, I'm kidding. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so here's what I do. I save it. Obviously, you're not wrong. That was a joke. Okay. Dang, I know, right? Okay, so we're gonna save this, and then we're gonna save it again as a new Clip Studio file. And then I'm gonna crop this one. Because I think this one's just better. I know you had a different opinion, but I gotta go with my gut on this one because it's, you know, my art. I gotta practice what I preach, and I think if you feel like something is better, you should go for it if it's for you. But yeah, I want to save it because maybe I'll go back. Maybe I gotta see. I think maybe also the reason that I like this one better isn't because it is better. It's because I don't do it as often. Typically, I don't design my compositions this way. I design them with a lot more airiness to them. And so cropping it to be more compact and closed feels like I'm getting something that I wouldn't have gotten otherwise. Because I wouldn't have. I wouldn't have made that choice. Not that. Do I like this darker layer here? I think I do. I kind of actually like this dark crypt spot here. You like this? No, thanks. Yeah, it feels, to me it feels more like a complete image. I don't know. It has, like, the parts that I like. Also, why can't I darken this? What's happening? Oh, we were just talking about defining detail. This one's gonna be... I'm gonna define this one with the highlights. It feels more how the characters are experiencing it. True, yeah. Bring us down to their level a little bit more. It also makes things just... Yeah, it makes the things that are supposed to be big feel bigger. Yeah, definitely. I think it's the vibe. The mood. It feels it's more in line with the storytelling and the... Yeah. It also just makes the stuff that I put the detail in feel a little bit more large, right? It's more larger scale. Yeah.
just feels more intentional. Larger scale. Like walking up to that building, there's not going to be a sky. It's just huge. Yeah, yeah. I think that's the thing. It puts you more in the scene. The other one just felt like it was. I mean, we could show you, right? We had this. Oh, this. Yeah, this felt more like a. I don't know. Almost like an establishing shot where you'd be, you know, you would see all this and then you zoom in into a scene, and then now you're here walking with the characters down the road, right? But it's that first zoom in, it's like it sort of establishes the scene a little bit, and it's not bad. I just feel like it. I mean, I do like this. I like both, honestly. Okay, what is happening here? I don't know what I want to do over here. Okay, I'm not sure what to do here. I'm kind of fumbling over this corner part. Maybe I just leave it like that and try to make this other stuff also more abstract in here. Cuz I don't want to have to problem solve this right now. Not today. I'm getting close to the end. The end of my wits. My wits are ending. Yeah, I think they're over. They're gone. My wits have left. If I ever had him. Were they ever here in the first place? Are the wits in the room with us now? I don't know. Okay, there we go. More greenery. More green over here. That's too green. A little more green up here. Maybe? Oh, not that. I mean, that's not bad. Maybe some more pillars here. I'm kind of just making shapes now. And I'm probably at the stage that I should have been defining the shapes, not making more shapes. I mean, I guess it's kind of both, right? Making more shapes to define. I guess there could have been like snow over here. Maybe not snow. But yeah, this is like a mountain. Just a mountain. I guess it's a mountain. Actually, this could be kind of cool to have a mountain back here as well. And here. Sort of gives that feeling of like we're tucked in the in the mountains. Is that better or worse? I don't know. Yeah. I think it's a good spot to call it quits for the day. Calling it quits. That makes it sound like I'm throwing in the towel. But no, I kind of am, actually. I'm just tired. So yeah, let's go find somebody to raid. I don't know who's online, but I'm sure there's plenty of people. And for anybody who stuck around, you know, joined in the color games, the color challenge, whatever you want to call it, the color game, who hung out, anybody in from the raid, the subscribers, thank you for the support. I very much appreciate it. I also have a Patreon. I don't typically mention it because I always forget, but I do have a Patreon. And it's patreon.com/jstiller30. And I think that's about everything. Thank you all for hanging out. I appreciate it. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks for being here. Hope you all have a good rest of your week. And I will see you on Saturday. Saturday will be the rest of the... Oh, I just flipped my camera. Look at that. Flip-flop. Yeah, I will be here on Saturday. And enjoy the rest of your week. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Wonderful week. Take care. Bloop, 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 bloop. There, closing the webcam. Okay, now...